Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you the Tottenham Fan Show with co-host Jack Kinnicky. Jack, how are you keeping, my man?
I'm keeping quite well, David. It's going to be a legendary fan show. I can tell we got some pretty good ones in the back end here. We got some absolute Harris Army legends. Getting forward to talking to them, especially considering this pretty disastrous news. But hopefully they'll brighten it up for us tonight.
No, look, I'm sure they will. Everyone brings all their different opinions on the topics that we're about to discuss, which is absolutely brilliant. Look, we will obviously be talking about the Harry Kane saga. We have a bit of a different twist on it, so it'll be interesting to see what people think of it. We'll also be touching a bit on Romero, asking the guys on their thoughts on the Session and Tanganga news that they could be loaned out. And, who would they rather in the Europa League conference as well. So, look, we have a pretty action-packed show to get through. But, look, I do want to welcome some chat members in, absolute legends. We have Philip Brady, sort of a bit disappointed in Kane's actions. Total lack of respect for the club that pays him and the fans. Interesting point. I'm sure Philip will be on at some stage today to let us know, to tell us what's what. We have Sunseeker88. He says, buy Kane. Look, I wouldn't say buy yet. We have Chris Philip, as I always say, no one's bigger than the club. That's a fair point, Chris. That includes Harry Kane. Philip Brady really didn't think Kane would pull a stunt like that. He hasn't thought it through. I agree. And then Philip and Chris were having a chat. Dermot Moyers, big up Dermot. I hope things are all good, my man. He says, hey, look, we don't know the full story. I feel his brother badly advising him. Yeah, look, I'm going to share my quick opinions just so I don't get caned in the chat later on when me and Jack are asking the questions. I'm going to make my opinions on it clear at the very start. Aaron Dove says, is this kicking off at 9:30 or 10:30? It's 9:30, my man. I hope things are well. Aaron Dove, big up Aaron Dove, says, looking forward to yet another great stream. #Harris Army. Look, Adam, what I say is we try our very best to keep pumping out the best, my man. Caleb Newsome says, #Harris Army. Come on, you Spurs. Exactly. Love the hashtag. Let's keep that #Harris Army going. Brad Matthews, pretty boring day, to be fair. It has been. It's been very slow, Brad. And Philip here. Philip Brady has upgraded to gold. Big up, Philip Brady. Absolute class. Absolutely class. Thomas James Smith, I hope things are well, man. He says Kane's biggest mistake was trying to be wide. By getting family involved. Look, if City want him, they know the bat. It's that simple. Yeah, that's fair. Yid Kid, he says, #Harris Army. Absolutely love it. Dan N is in the building as well. Says, truly disappointing in what Kane did today. You have to know the man you're making a gentleman's agreement with. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a great point, Dan N, I have to say. Jordan Stevens, my man, I hope things are well. I hope you're keeping all right. Says Kane's picked the wrong person to mess with, and Daniel Levy couldn't agree more. Mock Heen says, WTF Kane. Yeah, I fully agree, man. I fully agree. Can't really say that right now, exactly the words, but as later on I can. I'm Hyper says we're getting Romero on another centre-back and Kane staying, and we're getting Champions League next season. Do you think he'll stay? I do think he'll stay. That's just my opinion. We have Leon Powell in the building. I hope you're keeping well. Big up Michael Cronley. No, we wouldn't. Haaland wouldn't come to Tottenham, I'm afraid to say, Mikey. Danny Kiriakou and Kirsten in the chat. George as well. They come, they go. I get 100%. Josh 7. I'm more open to him now. He's done all this. I thought he was more respectful. Bluey FFA. Wonder if he go back to training soon and what's going to happen next. Big yourself up. Dave Tyson's in the building. View on Spurs. Matt Hayes is in as well. 100%. Exactly, Matt. You know what the score is, my man. Eric Lassard Kane might have had an upset belly. Yeah, look, there's a number of things that could have gone, could be isolating someone at the wedding or something like that, you know. Every right to be pissed off. This is from Shane O'Neill. Kane knows, but keep in mind, why is it even happening? Who's responsible? Yeah, look, we'll get into that. Me and Jack have questions on that. Wayne, I was in the building. Big up, Wayne. I hope things are well, man. You know, Nurse is back again. I hope things are well. I'm seeing Flamethrowers in the building. Tor 1207. Hamik Foscanian. Martin Sheridan's in. Tottenham teacher. Big up. I hope you're keeping well. Anthony Gray. Hope things are good with you, buddy. Andy Williams. Zoe DF. CD. David as well. The greatest name on the planet. Tot943. How are things? Hope everyone's well. Adam G. We have Andrew Akoto. We have JC as well. Matthew. Abdullah, Jerry McNeil. Jerry, your channel member, new one as well. I hope you come on. I want to see your face, man. Let's come on and see what you have to say. Look, before we get into it, don't forget to smash that like button, guys. Smash the subscribe button if you're new. And look, don't be afraid to get the super chats in. It is a great way to help support the channel. And if you want to come on and have your say as well, we do have it open to channel members at the start, depending on how many come in. Then we will try and open up to the public, but it never usually gets to that stage, guys. So, make sure you do grab your channel membership as well if you want to come on and have your say on all things Tottenham. And these fan shows will be run every Monday throughout the season, guys. So make sure you get yours. It'll be well worth it. That's all I can say. But look, Jack, first of all, with Harry Kane, I just want to say we'll make our thoughts clear on the situation before we bring on people, just so that when we do ask the questions later on, we don't get caned like we did with the Harry Winks questions. So look, my stance with Kane is look, I'm fully disappointed. I'm fully disappointed in the actions. Look, refusing to train is not the way to go. Should have came into training today, got his head down and done his training session and went home. And try and do it behind the scenes. But look, people calling him a snake, I don't think is very fair on the guy. I'll be honest with you. Look, this is a guy that at the back end of last season was the only one that walked around in the last home game of the season clapping the fans, while all the other players went sulking down the tunnel because they got booed off for the shit performance. Kane stayed there and clapped the fans. Look, at the time we were saying, it's like goodbye, this, that, and the other, and stuff like that. But look, for me, I get it. We're all disappointed in his actions, but he's not a snake. This is the best striker we've had at Tottenham since Jimmy Greaves. You know what I mean? He's not a snake. Let's make that clear. I think I do get it. Look, I think some fans are being harsh on him. That's my opinion on it. But yeah, look, you can't condone, and I'd never encourage any youngster to not train or anything like that to try and force a move. That's wrong. But look, we have to be fair on the situation. Look, for me, I think our anger should be directed at Levy. It should never have got to this point. We should have got players in before and sooner. To be able to be at Kane's level, to be able to be where we need to be or where we should be, which is in the Champions League, challenge for league titles and stuff like that. So that's where I think the anger should be directed at. But look, Jack, what's your views on it before we get into it?
I mean, David, I think you're speaking the truth there, especially I will say, I'm honestly, I'm kind of one of those, people who maybe have jumped the gun a little bit, on kind of these Kane rumors. And, I've already, once kind of, even said in a comment, like I'm really worried that, he might lose, some of that reputation that he once had, some of that honor that he once had with the club. And, even the snake word even came up, as well, if the rumors are to be true. And so I think you're actually bringing this into perspective, David. So you might be right. You might be even, maybe putting me in check, honestly, with it. So, but yeah, I'd be absolutely torn up if these rumors were true. And as well, I just really hope it's not his brother in any sense getting through to him, but we'll speak on that as well. But yeah, David, everything you said is actually really true, because to be honest, I can say that, I didn't have that maybe all-encompassing kind of perspective. I did kind of jump the gun, I will say, personally, on kind of thinking that, Kane, was kind of throwing us under the bus here, but maybe, we need to get more of a full perspective.
Yeah, no, look, and as well, I just want to add that as well. Look, his brother Charlie, he is a gooner, you know what I mean? And I believe he helps represent him as well. So, like, there is that element to it, that maybe he's been poorly advised. But look, at the same time, you'd probably say, look, well, it's his decision at the end of the day. So I do get that. But look, we have to remember, no one from his camp has really come out and spoke on it today, actually. And we have to remember, look, it could be down to, for instance, he was at his brother's wedding. It was only a couple of weeks ago that maybe people have to self-isolate. You don't know. You don't know what the situation is. But look, all we can do is just comment on what we see. And look, that's what we're about to do. So look, let's get into it. Let's get the first guest on. He's starting to appear on We Are Tottenham TV regularly, and he's doing an absolute good job of it. And he's a real fan favourite here as well. But Brad, look, what's your thoughts on the Kane situation with him not turning up to training today?
Well, there I am. Confused, I have to say, because I didn't think he'd do that sort of thing. So initially, when I first heard it this morning, and I was intent, I got a very busy week at work this week, so I thought, right, don't do anything football-wise. Just concentrate on your job, and then you hear that coming in, and of course you immediately start watching and listen to things. At first, I thought, well, he apparently, I think Ali Gold in the morning, or probably might have been yesterday, said that he was due for a COVID test today.
Yeah.
And then if that was negative, he'd turn up tomorrow for the fitness trainings when they sort of suss them out how fit they are, that sort of thing. So when they first said it this morning, I thought, oh, it must be some misunderstanding. You know, his car's broken down or whatever, or he's lost the way, you know. And then as the day went on, it obviously became that it wasn't that. So I'm really surprised that he didn't. See, the thing about Harry Kane is that before it happened today, most fans thought, well, if the club decide to sell him, then he goes with our blessing, you know, because we don't want him to go, but he goes, you know, he's given us great service, you know, good luck to you, Harry, sort of thing. But now he's come in and done this without even, as far as we know, because let's face it, we don't know. As far as we know, he hasn't spoken to Nuno, hasn't spoken to Levy, hasn't spoken to anyone at the club. He just hasn't turned up. And that to me is the wrong way to go about it. And it seems very out of character. And you're right. Has he been badly advised? And you know,
let's transition to that maybe.
The only other thing I will say is that now that Man City look to be doing the Grealish bid, maybe his camp have said to him, "You've got to do something. You know, you've got to make some sort of stand. Else they're going to spend their money on Grealish,
right?
And you won't get your move. So maybe that's come into it. But I mean, I'm not one of these guys going, "Oh, he's a snake." Nah, you know, I'm disappointed. I think we all are disappointed. But it's wrong to sort of suddenly, one, because we don't know the whole details, do we? I mean, we haven't had any. I mean, that would have been the other thing if there had been some sort of statement by the club today or by Kane's camp saying what had gone on, you know. But it wasn't. It was just left to people to speculate and, you know, and that sort of thing. So it's very confusing.
To be honest, I like that, Brad, especially before David chimes in here. To be honest, I kind of wish it was one of those situations where, you know, the dishwasher, you know, maybe broke, you know, or another situation where, you know, they didn't buy the right laundry detergent, right, and they need to take a week off, like we've always said. But normally we've never said that about Kane, and maybe this was the one day where I hope maybe, you know, that kind of slander was probably, you know, or banter was true, you know, in terms of him. But, you know, maybe more and more it's, you know, it's not the case. But yeah, David.
I was just going to say, Matty Hayes here. He says, Joe Hart to Celtic. Here we go from Fabrizio Romano. Goodbye, Joe. No more cricket sessions in the dressing room. No more bingo nights. Thank you very much. And good luck with your venture at Celtic. One thing I will say is I do have a bit of a soft spot for Celtic. Could say probably my second team if I have one. So he kind of is following me around, which is a bit gutting, but goodbye. That's what I say. But yeah, look, moving on, transitioning into... you know, about the situation, basically. Look, do you think, Philip, it is a case that he has been badly advised, like by his Gooner brother, or do you think he's kind of done that off his own back?
Well, because it seems so out of character, I mean, let's face it, Kane is the England captain. You know, this is the England captain not turning up for training because he doesn't get a move he wants when he's got 3 years of the contract he signed. You know, so it just strikes me as, and he's always said, "Oh, you know, I'll stay with the club if we're going in the right direction." And all he had to do was come back to the club and say, "Look, I want to leave. You know, how can we sort it out and have a chat give people like Nuno and Paratici the chance to persuade him, even if he knows in his own mind he's going to leave, even if he knows that whatever they say to him, he still wants to go. But at least it gives that impression that he's trying to see what Tottenham have got to offer." And then he says, "Well, actually, no, I still want to go." And then the fans don't sort of feel so bad about it. But yeah, it's really difficult to know. I mean, I think obviously somewhere in the line, I think his camp have come into this. I think it is the advice. I don't think he's done this off his own back. I think this is the advice he's been given. They've already sat down and said, "Well, what's the best way we can do this?"
Right.
I can't see it. I mean, I could be totally wrong. You know, I think someone actually put in the chat about we're all human, we all make mistakes. This is the one mistake maybe he's made. And I'm sure all of us here, all of us watching have done something really silly before now. I know I have. So it's difficult, really difficult.
Now, I mean, maybe just touching maybe a bit on Charlie here. Do you think maybe just Charlie is tapping into, you know, maybe Kane's true feelings and is just maybe advocating for what Kane really wants? Or do you maybe think he might be in a bit, you know, maybe sabotaging him or maybe, you know, leaning him towards a way that maybe he doesn't actually wholeheartedly feel that's where he wants to go.
Well, they're family, aren't they? I mean, it's not like
It's tough. It's
it's
like a family drama. It's Kardashians.
Yeah,
It's
it's not like
inside the Canes.
It's I don't know nothing about their family. I presume they're close knit. I mean, I had a situation where I actually contacted the club because one of my work colleagues is badly ill, and the club, Charlie Kane, contacted me, and he got Harry to do a little sort of message sort of thing, and that was so. I thought, well, that was good. He didn't have to do that, and he did. And I got a WhatsApp message from Lois Kane, which I presume is his sister. So so it's obviously a family concern. So it'd be very surprising me if they sort of did anything to behind his back or anything like that. So yeah, it's because I mean we know what agents are like. They're trying to make their 10%, but when you got your family, you think, well, it's sort of hard to believe. So
yeah. And look, moving on a bit from the Harry Kane situation, Brad, Romero has reportedly expressed that he would like to play for Spurs and has even called it the chance of a lifetime. How excited would you be if we signed him, and what kind of impact do you think he'll have at Tottenham?
I can only go what I've been reading by various scribes and what people have been saying about him on a lot of the YouTube channels as well. He seems to be a very good player, and he's 23. This guy's 23. I mean, I think I said last week, he's won the Italian Defender of the Year. This is a country that prides themselves on defenders and defending. Mm-hmm. And he's the best defender in Italy. Okay? So it's like, hold on a minute, he must be fairly good. He's he won the Copa America, so he's got experience of playing in big tournaments. He obviously wants to come and play in the Premier League, and as I said before, probably playing for Spurs in the Premier League is probably better than playing for Atalanta in the Champions League.
Yeah, Atlanta's tin pot.
Yeah, and also because he's 23, he knows. And again, we don't know what Paratici said to him. So maybe Paratici has been, or said to his camp because he's been on holiday, but has said, look, this is what we intend in the future. Right. And he thinks, well, actually, I'm 23. I'm going to play in the Premiership. This is a good team. I can be playing Champions League next season. I'm young enough, 23. I've got a 5-year contract, So there's that. And also the other thing is I think in the Copa America, he's obviously knows Lo Celso. And maybe he knows Lamella. Who knows? And they obviously sold the club to him. And he thought, actually, come over. I mean, Galini said that, didn't he? Not Galini. The other guy, Brian Hill, said that. He said, I'm good mates with Regulon sort of thing. And he sort of sold me the club. So maybe there's that in it. So, yeah, and I think we need some more defenders to go with him. I'm quite happy to have what's the name at the club? Rodon.
Yeah.
The others can bog off, but we still need another player. And now this brings up the question of if Man City offered you money plus a player, would you accept it? And I personally, if it got to that stage where there's no getting away from it, Kane is going, it'll be, I'll accept the money plus someone like Laporte.
Would you accept their original bid maybe of 100 million, but would you maybe bargain for maybe a player on top of that maybe?
Well, whatever happens, it's got to be done damn quick because we've got to do this in the next month. So it's no use selling Harry Kane on, which is my fear on the last day of the window, because how are you going to replace him? You've got no time to replace him,
Yeah.
So if it's got to that stage, now I don't want to sell Kane, of course I don't.
Yeah,
if it's got to that stage, you say, well, okay, take the defender, or at least if you take the money, you can buy another decent defender. Because if you can imagine someone like Laporte and Romero as your two centre backs with Rodon as backup, that's not bad. And this other Tommy Asu, as he comes in, he can play centre back as well. So yeah, I think I'm excited by the signing when it happens, obviously, but we definitely need more. And what really scares me is the fact it's taken 3-4 weeks to get this deal done.
Yeah.
And how are we going to? So the amount of time we've spent getting this deal done, we've now got the same amount of time to get in another centre back, a right back, another backup striker, maybe two backup strikers, maybe a creative midfielder. We're not letting ourselves a lot of time. So You know,
No,
We're
it's going
not.
to be a flash sale for sure.
well, yeah,
Come towards the end of this, the end of the transfer window, you do start to see teams kind of do things a bit quicker. We do have to remember that Romero was only back from holidays today.
yeah.
So nothing was ever kind of really going to be done until he was back from holidays anyway.
Yeah.
But I do like, if it is going to happen, I would expect it to happen this week. I really would expect it to happen this week if it is going to happen. But like I said, Romero is only back from holidays today, so hopefully, it can all be finalized this week and get done. But yeah, no, great take on it. Like, and it is worrying, like you say there, that we only have 4 weeks, kind of left in the transfer window to operate, and it's already took us nearly 4 weeks to get the Romero deal done. I just hope, me personally, I just hold on to belief that, we will get business done, and it could end up coming back to bite me in the ass. But look, I just want to hold that belief, But look, Jack,
I think I've resigned myself to the fact that we're not going to have our team ready to go on day one, with the new players. Or I've resigned myself to that. I think I said last week or the week, whenever it was, that it's another transitional season. What I will hope is that we've got the players by day one, or by the end of the window anyway, and then by around the turn of the year, they've started to play in the way that Nuno wants to play and got to know each other, so that when all the cups start, we can have a go at some of the cups.
Yeah.
What I will say on that as well, just quickly, is actually like the start of the season, first 6 games, it's a tough start. You know what I mean? So I kind of would have hoped to get our team in sooner, but it is what it is. We just, after them 6 games, is then we kind of just have to pick up what we can over them 6 games, and after that, then just have a strong finish to the season. Brad, I want to ask you about Skip and Tanganga.
Yeah.
Look, rumors and reports lately are that they could be loaned out this season. We know that Galatasaray kind of has sounded sort of interest in Tanganga on a season-long loan. Skip, I'm a bit surprised about. I know the Ellie came out with this. Me personally, I don't believe it. I think Skip will be kept around. But what's your opinions on Skip and Tanganga? Because look, with Tanganga, you probably could argue the case if we do get in another centre back, if we are going to hold on to one of Dyer or Sanchez. Look, my personal opinion, I do think Tanganga's better, but maybe it would be more beneficial for him to get a full season under his belt, like Skip did playing professional, in a men's game, and especially in a hostile atmosphere like Galatasaray. But for Skip, I think personally he should be kept in and around the squad. I do think he's competition for places. But what's your opinions on Skip and Tanganga? Would you loan them or keep them around, Brad?
I'd certainly keep Skip. There's no way in the world I'm loaning Skip out. I mean, he's done his season at Norwich last season, player of the year in their team, and the Championship is a pretty difficult league to play in. It's quite competitive. Tanganga, I think, has had some first team experience. If, as you say, we get defenders in and there's not a lot of scope for him to play, then I think it might be beneficial for him to do that. As far as going to Turkey is concerned, I can't see that at all. As if Turkey's still there at the moment. I think it's on fire, but I can't see that. That struck me as being really, really weird. That loan deal, and the one with Skip, I think that's just nonsense. Again, we don't know Nuno well at the moment, but then we read that he likes the young players and bring the young players through. So I wouldn't. I mean, you tend to loan players out if you're not too sure that they can play first team football and you want to give them a bit of experience. Well, Skip's had that, and Tanganga to a certain degree has had it as well because he's played in some big matches. So you only sort of loan players out that I don't think you're sure of. So I can't. No, I wouldn't loan. Possibly Tanganga, but I would err on the side of not loaning either of them. No.
Yeah, and then last question here, Brad. In terms of maybe the prestigious Europa Conference League, which we will eventually be the first winners of, and will then by winning it make it a prestigious competition, right? Would you rather be playing the Portuguese team Paços de Ferreira, or would you rather be playing the Northern Ireland team Larne? You can answer this however you want. Maybe which game would you rather go to? Would you rather have a nice day in Portugal and maybe watch it? Would you rather head up to Northern Ireland? What would you prefer?
Well, I've been to Portugal. It's a lovely place, but I've never been to Ireland. So and it's probably cheaper to get to Ireland as well. I don't know what the COVID rules are at the moment. I mean, who does? But yeah, no, I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like to go to Ireland. I think that as I said, I've never been to Ireland, so yeah, I think I could handle going over there to watch that game. So I mean, I don't know how good these two teams are. I would imagine, and I could be totally wrong here, I'd imagine that the Portuguese are probably favourites to win it, but who knows? But no, I'd rather go to Ireland. Well, I don't know what part of Portugal are from. I've been to like most people, been to the Algarve, that area, but yeah, maybe they're from a different part of Portugal.
No, look, with the rules, it'd be the same as the UK rules because Northern Ireland operate under the UK.
Oh yeah.
Government, so it'll all be the same. So you probably wouldn't actually have a problem going, to be honest with you, Brad. So I'd say you definitely fancy that one for an old tipple or two.
Yeah, that invisible border might sort of.
Yeah, you might wave across, Dave. Yeah, wave across the fence or whatever it might be, or across the hillside.
If it does happen in Northern Ireland and I can't get across to watch it, I'll be absolutely raging. I'll be raging. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll be standing at the border waving at Brad and me and everybody. I'll be absolutely sick.
What's the drink in Northern Ireland? I mean, obviously Guinness and Caffrey's is the.
It was Harp up there for a long time. We have Mr. Brady in the background, so when he comes on, I'm sure he's closer to the north. He'll be able to tell us what the drink choice is up there. But look, for me, I do remember it being Harp at one stage. So.
But yeah, Brad, anything else that we just got through all the questions there? Anything else maybe you want to say, to the Harris Army, to us, or anything else?
Yeah, what do you guys think of this Traore thing? Personally, I think 45 million. I mean, that's a lot of money.
That 45 million is far too much.
Yeah, I mean, unless they said 4 to 5 million, and I sort of misread it, but yeah, it's no, and it's like, well, we've got so many players like that. What's the point of getting another one? So,
I mean, maybe I would say 45 million is just far too much, and as well, maybe I would say, might actually, I don't want someone, be competing in terms of the baby oil. Pictures with Delhi. I think Delhi, he's already trying his hardest. He's already trying his hardest, Delhi, to do his best, kind of, baby oil kind of muscle, pick impersonations. And so if Adama were to come in the same season he was doing that just would be a bit unfair to Delhi. So yeah, 45 million is too much for that reason.
He is right-sided though. He's a right-sided player, which we haven't really got. So there is that, I suppose. So
yeah. Oh, look, there is 100%. There's definitely that.
Thank you, Brad.
But look, Brad, I want to say a massive thank you very much for coming on today, my man. And I really appreciate another great performance. Not performance, but another great appearance. Sorry, my bad. Another great appearance today. And look, everybody in the chat, get in and thank Brad for coming on and sharing his opinions.
And don't forget to click the link and subscribe. And click a like. I'm getting used to this.
Cheers, Brad. Thank you very much, Brad. And also, David, David should have said it. Class performance, Brad. Class performance.
Cheers.
It's not your debut. You certainly are more of a veteran around here, but absolutely well done. Well, you strolled around the park with these questions. So well done.
And I look forward to that new song as well.
Yeah, no, I'll try and get that done this week. As I say, I know exactly what it is. The lyrics are all, I'll say lyrics. I mean, not really lyrics really, but yeah, it's all ready to go. It's all ready to go. So I just need to record it. I didn't know whether to actually record it on as an actual music piece or actually just film it. So I'll film it first and see how it comes out and send it to you. So yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. I look forward to it, Brad. I look forward to it, my man. And look, thank you very much, lad. And look, you go and enjoy your evening. I know you said you want to get an early night. So
yeah, I'll probably still end up watching it. Watching you guys to whatever time. So
yeah, you enjoy it. You enjoy it with a beer, just a nice cool drink of some kind. And
I'm lucky. I live in a studio flat, so I can literally watch it from my bed. So
nice.
Happy days, and hopefully we don't bore you enough so you can get some Harry Winks.
But big up, Brad. Big up, Brad.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. What an absolute legend by Brad. Look, we have a super chat here to get to from Lazy801. Says, had an agreement with Levy too. I support Spurs and he doesn't drive me bald with his crap. That went tits up too. I still showed up to work the next day. Yeah, look, that's a great point. And look, Lazy8, the link is up in the community section. Why not get on and have your say, my man? You were absolutely brilliant last week. And I'd love to hear from you again this week, man. I really would. But yeah, look, I fully agree. He should be turning up to training just like everyone else turns up to work the next day if they have a problem with their boss. I fully agree with you, man. A big up for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. And everyone else, you know, we do have 380 people watching right now. The chat is flying. It's hard to keep up, guys. You know, so if you do want your comment read out and discussed and like that, and you're getting frustrated, just realize it is hard to get through everything. You know, so and keep supporting the channel with super chats, just like Lazy 8, guys. You know, it goes a long way to keep us going and help supporting the channel and help us get better stuff to produce better content and stuff like that. And it's really appreciated. So big yourself up, Lazy 8. But look, Jack, why not? Let's not why not get on another channel legend? And it's Ellie, aka Aglea Kakaratis. Everyone knows her from the comments. Ellie, how are you keeping?
I'm really good, thank you, David. I was looking forward to the show.
Good to see you, Ellie. Good to see you.
What a great guest Brad was, eh?
He's a good one to start off with. He's certainly a good one to start off with, Brad. He knows all the news. You know, he stays informed. You know, he also has, you know, the good transitions. You know, he's a good one. But Ellie, how are you feeling? You know, speaking of, you know, kind of maybe the unfortunate news surrounding, you know, Harry Kane, you know, missing training today. What do you think on maybe Harry Kane missing training? You know, was it purposeful? I mean, what are your thoughts on him, you know, skipping training?
Yeah, there might be something more, you know, we don't know about the whole situation, do we? So it could be anything. Like you said, it could be his washing machine. he could have had something dodgy on his holiday and he's got a dodgy belly. You don't know, do you? You know, there's lots of rumours coming out, but you don't know which one is true.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, I shed a tear or two today because I thought, right, I'm going to get my Kane Cup and celebrate him staying. And then I think I'm actually quite tearful today because I'm thinking if he leaves, it's sad. It's very sad because I was banking on him staying. But if he does leave, it's going to be a very sad day for all us Spurs fans because he played his heart out for the club, and I can't understand all these fans who saying he's a snake. That's not good.
Yeah,
we should all stick together because he's a Spurs lad, and he's giving us fantastic service.
Do you know what I don't get, Ellie, right? Is we're a fan base that make excuses for the likes of Sanchez, Winks.
Yeah.
You know, oh, look, you know, they've stopped running or they haven't been playing well, but, you know, we need to give them a chance, this, that, and the other. As soon as Harry Kane does one thing, he's a snake, he's this, he's that, and the other. Like, you know what I mean? And he's given more passion and more to Tottenham than what any of the other guys have that they make excuses for. And I just don't understand it. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with you, David. It's disgusting what's happening. You know, all these people coming out saying he's a snake. He's not a snake. He's a striker who scored hundreds of goals for us. Yeah. And people mustn't forget that. And he's played his heart out for our club. He's not just been a striker. He's been a number 10 and a number 9 together. So it's like having two guys playing for the same team. So he's filled the void where Eriksson was our playmaker. He stepped in. Look what he did. What is it, 16 assists? Yeah. And 20 odd goals, 21 goals or 23 goals in the league. It's a fantastic return. I mean, if you call him a snake, what do you call Sanchez then? There's no word for it, is there?
No, that's a good point, Ellie.
I was going to say something his mother should have swallowed, but that's probably a bit over the top.
I am quite tearful tonight because I love Harry Kane. He's played his heart out for our club for years, and he's gone out on loan to other clubs and done reasonably well. And he's come back and he's built himself up. He's trained. His body transformed like Gareth Bale's. You know, he made himself a top professional, and he deserves the best. Yeah. And we're not giving him the best at Spurs. We were buying the second-rate players. Now maybe he sees if Romero comes in, it might change his mind. I know he's only one player, but then Brian Gill's a young boy as well, and he's shown that he's really, really good, you know, and he's a talented lad. So maybe that might tip him back to our side rather than leaving. You never know.
Yeah, but speaking of maybe what you were just saying there, Ellie, I think what Wayne Bonner on a similar note here, he's saying if Kane goes, Levy should go. Enough's enough. And I think you were kind of saying that with Kane, you know, like he's put in, you know, enough goals. He's put in enough effort. He's put in enough hardship, blood, sweat, and tears into the club. And to be honest, I will say, like, I'm gonna, you know, put my hand up. My initial reactions, I would say, I didn't put anything on social media or anything, but my initial thoughts about it were not good. And even some of the questions, you know, we were coming up with today with, you know, David, I felt like, you know, they were a bit harsh on Kane that I was coming up with. And, you know, even with Philip today, you know, I felt like I was being harsh with them. And so the way you guys are treating this, you know, is honestly, it helps me a lot to remind myself that, you know, I can't be harsh on players like this who've given so much to us. There are plenty of other players that would go before this that maybe we should use these words for.
People call Dele Alli a legend, right? Dele Alli decided he'd take a holiday for 2.5 years. You know what I mean? While Harry, like, you know, the thing is as well, like we got a new manager, Poch went. Harry Kane didn't change him. He played the exact same for Jose Mourinho and just went on about his business. Other players went hiding and missing. Harry Kane hasn't. Now, like, you know, why are people, you know, calling the likes of Dele Alli a snake when he doesn't want to train instead of going, oh, well, it's on Jose, Dele, this, or it's about the off-the-field issues or this or that, making excuses for him. As soon as Kane does something, he's a snake. I don't understand it. Like, you know, why not say something to Dele Alli when he's gone missing for 2.5 seasons? You know, sitting there having a go at a guy that's just continued to chip away at the stone, continue to grind away. I just don't get it. You know, I just do not understand it, but big up, Wayne. I really do appreciate it.
Good to see you, Wayne.
Yeah.
Good to see you as well. You're probably a bit up late past your bedtime, Wayne, but good to see you, and I really do appreciate the support. Everyone else, you know, feel free to support us and get your comments in. I hope you enjoyed that answer, Wayne. But Ellie, look, you know, do you think that Kane kind of said, yeah, I'm going to do this myself, or do you think he's being advised by his Gooner brother?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because even though if he's a Gooner, I don't think he would advise his brother just to miss training. It's not very good. You know, that he wouldn't do that. They're a close family. You know they're a close family because they stick together. Right?
But his brother has a history of running his mouth as well, you know?
Yeah, but still, I don't think so. Because Harry's got his own mind. I think there's something innocent in this. We've got to believe that. And I like all the people to comment and back Kane, you know, not call him a snake.
Yeah.
I want all you Harry's army. Let's get behind Harry because he's been a legend for us.
Yeah.
What fabulous goals he scored for us, especially against the Gooners. He saved his best ones for those games. That one where he wore the mask.
That's true.
Oh, that fabulous goal. Brilliant. You know, this guy is given his heart and soul to Spurs. Because I want all this snake business to stop, you know, and call him a superstar, not a snake.
Yeah. And if people think that, if as well, Ellie, like, it's the wrong way to go about it because, look, believe it or not, look, professional footballers do listen to what people have to say. Listen to what Tyrone Mings has said lately about, you know, listening to what pundits and people and all have to say on his stuff. So they do listen to what fans have to say. And if you think messages like that is going to get him to stay, like, you're completely wrong because he'd be sitting there thinking, like, the service I'm after giving, and they're sitting there calling me snake, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? I really don't get it. Ellie, the comments is going mad here. They're absolutely loving what you have.
They love you, Ellie.
Yeah. Let's back our boy. He's a Spurs boy. He's Spurs through and through. He doesn't want to leave, but the club have let him down. They haven't backed him. Whenever we've gone into the transfers, getting Bruno Fernandes, Jack Grealish, we failed him. Yeah. Levy's the one to blame. They should be calling him a snake.
Yeah.
Getting him out.
I couldn't agree more.
Not our Harry.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Stefan Bloy says here, with the Harry Kane news, thank God for Son's new contract. Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more, Stefan. You know, but look, it's like yin and yang. Son, look, I don't think he's going to be able to carry Tottenham's front force on his own. Me personally, I think he's an excellent player, but I don't think he can do it on his own. He's still going to need someone he can feed off like he does with Harry Kane.
Yeah.
So, look, me personally, I don't think selling our best asset and having 4 weeks to replace him is in Spurs' best interest. But Ellie, if City, that bid that City made earlier on in the summer of 100 million was on the table now, would you take it and let Kane walk away from Tottenham kind of, look, thinking like he doesn't want to be here? Or if you were Daniel Levy, would you be sitting there now and just saying, look, Harry, gentleman's agreement, no gentleman's agreement, I'm doing what's best for the club. You're going to stay for another season. There's 3 years left on his contract. We hold the cards at the end of the day.
That is the best thing that Levy could do. To hold on to our star player. Don't let him go. What Man City, who are they? They were nobody before their money came in.
Yeah.
They didn't have a history like Spurs.
Just show him Ricky Villa, right, Ellie?
Yeah.
Just show Man City Ricky Villa. Yeah, just give him that name. Just give him that name.
If you're talking fabulous players with fabulous skill, you think of Spurs. Look, you can roll them off the tongue. Ginola, Van der Vaart, Modric, Sheringham, all of those players. Gaza, Hoddle, Perryman, Pat Jennings. What a great Irishman he was. Maybe not as good as you, David.
I think
you've got
no Irishman will ever be as good as me. Not even Roy Keane was as good as me.
Yeah, Roy Keane, Jermaine Defoe, Jermaine Genius. That was a joke.
Irish, they never will be. They want to be, never will be.
He's got a good name, Jermaine Genius, but he wasn't a genius.
Yeah, 100%. Ellie,
against Arsenal though.
Sorry,
he scored a good goal against Arsenal when we beat them 5-1 and we went to the final.
Yeah,
right.
Our last ever victory, our last ever cup.
Right.
Well, the last ever cup since Levy's been in charge, anyway.
Stuff. No, yeah. I look back on that with such fondness because we won a trophy, but such bitterness because I want more. It's a difficult position to be in. But Ellie, look, Brad make a bit of a good point, and it's kind of a bit off script. There's 4 weeks left in the market, the transfer market. Do you see us getting in many signings? And the reason why I ask that is because we do have a tweet here from Fabrizio Romano, and it says Christian Romero is one step away from Tottenham. Final official bid around 50 million now on the table from Spurs. Atlanta are expected to accept soon. Barcelona were never in the race, and Atlanta are closing in on Mary Demiral as a replacement on loan with a buy option, which is kind of like what I was saying on the fan show last at the end, when it was kind of like people were kind of were saying it was like Levy's fault. I was just trying to explain, like, sometimes the club doesn't let them go until they find a replacement. That seems to be the case. So look, I'm not counting my chickens yet, but it looks like Romero is one step closer. But do you think we'll be able to get much more business done in the last 4 weeks of the window?
Yeah, do you know who I would like to sign as well? Is Dwight. What's his name? The Burnley boy.
Dwight McNeil.
Dwight McNeil. Yeah, I just forgot his surname for a minute. He's such a good baller, and he holds the ball so well, and he's got good vision. We need a player like that. Who can hold the ball for us and slow the game down. Very cultured player. Yeah. I like him a lot. He's wasted at Burnley because he doesn't fit into their game plan. Their game plan is to get it up front.
He's better than Burnley, isn't he, Ellie?
Yeah, he's better than Burnley. I'd like to see us go in for him and to go in for Danny Ings, even though everybody's saying, he's the same age as Kane. If we lose Kane, and I don't want to lose him, but if we do, then he would be a fantastic replacement.
Yeah.
I like that, Ellie.
He'd be a backup striker. He'd be our proper striker. And he can get you 25 goals easily. Yeah.
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
And he's British. He knows the league. We're not going to go for a foreign player who we haven't tested. Like, we've done that in the past with players like Soldado who came in
Yeah.
And he didn't hit the ground running, did he?
Vincent Janssen, there's another one, Ellie.
Vincent Janssen, how many games did he play? About 3?
Three, and then we realised he was absolutely a donkey, 100%. But look, I know Jack he's dying to get in on the action here with a few questions for you, Ellie.
On, Jack.
You know how much Jack loves you too, and I don't want to be hugging all the questions. There is a comment here from Brian C. I just do want to bring up. He's another legend. He says, "Big up, everyone. Very confused, out of character, not to report for training. Would be great to see a tweet from Harry to their fans." 100%, I agree with that. And then just 2 super chats, Ellie, and then I'll let Jack in. Will Stewart THFC rant says, "Look, I don't want him to go either, but if I let him pull an Ericsson and go in 2 years for 20 million, is the club better off? If he goes, why not cash in?" I'll actually, if you don't mind, Ellie, if I just answer this, because I was thinking about this today, right? And you can come in off the back of it too. But I was thinking about this today. And basically what I was thinking is I get this side of the argument, right? But would we not be better off keeping them, using them and getting ourselves back to where we need to be in the Champions League and that, where we're in a position to replace them with a top quality striker at that level who will actually want to come to Tottenham because we're in the Champions League and stuff like that, and take the hit on the value 2 years' time. Because at the minute, if we sell him, you're not going to get anyone in directly to replace Harry Kane. You're going to have to bring in at least two strikers, and probably a centre attacking midfielder too to get the assist that he also gets. Me personally, I stand where I would actually rather take the hit in value. If he wants to go 2 or 3 years' time, we're back in the Champions League and everything else. I know it's a bit of a gamble, but we get back there. And Daniel Levy, I know, again, a bit of a gamble, but realizes he's 2 years to get this ship steering in the right direction. That's my way to go about it. But Ellie, how would you go about it?
Yeah, I agree with you, David. If we do let him go, I don't want to let him go, honestly. But if we do, and we want to cash in on him, we should spend the money wisely and get, like you said, two strikers, but get 2 strikers who are tried and tested in the Premiership, and then get maybe a creative midfielder from abroad, because the foreign players, the midfielders are fantastic. Or either get Dwight McNeil. I like him. I've liked him for a long time. And he was started at Man United. So
I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got pedigree. He's got pedigree, the boy. Yeah. I like him. I watch him a lot because I like to study players, how they keep the ball, how they use the ball, if they've got intelligence with vision. And he's got it. I think we should go for him. But I don't know if because he's at Burnley, maybe they think, oh, he's not our cup of tea.
It could be the English pass too, Ellie. It could be too expensive. Whatever you pay, it goes up.
Yeah.
He has the homegrown thing behind him. You know what I mean? The English squad.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just want to say a big up to Will for the super chat, my man. Really do appreciate it.
Big up, Will.
And look, Jack, we'll pass over to you, my man.
No, big up, Will. We do really appreciate it. And then Ellie, I actually love that you have this bit of this Dwight McNeil kind of fancy, because I've always had a bit of a crush kind of on Dwight McNeil and the way that he plays.
We're in sync, Jack.
Right, exactly. And even so, when people were kind of criticizing, I feel like, Brian Hill for being a left-sided, left-footed winger, I was kind of thinking like, they play differently, but we've seen, Dwight McNeil, be, a decent player for Burnley, being a left-sided, left-footed, kind of player. And like you said, a player with vision on that side as well. And I'm kind of like you. I kind of feel like he could, do quite well, outside of Burnley. And maybe another one I would take with me as maybe a backup striker would be like a Chris Wood, just because he's put in, 28 goals, I think 27 goals in the Championship before. Yeah. He's put in 10 goals plus in the Premier League consistently for Burnley. And it's not saying like he's going to replace Kane at all, but he would be a fantastic, I think, backup striker. Yeah. Or if Kane were to go, maybe back up to the new striker that we would get. Because he's like you said, the tried and proved, kind of a Premier League striker, and also a big one as well, that we've always shown success with big strikers. So Dwight McNeil and him, I love that. That sounds glorious.
Yeah, because we had Llorente, who's a very similar player, than Wood, and he came in. He got criticised at first, but then he put in some decent performances, and against Man City, he got us back into the game with his thigh, didn't he?
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was handball, but it actually hit his thigh.
Yeah.
Got us back in that match, and it was him who did the flick that went to Delhi that brought on the third goal in the Champions League semi-final. He actually did the flick, you know. So yeah, he can
We
be
maybe
good
should
with
shoot
Wood.
higher than these players, but these are a bit maybe Levy kind of, Tottenham kind of Spurs kind of signings that could be pretty good maybe.
Yes, because we've been accused of being soft. You can't say Chris
Get
Wood
some
is
Burnley
not a
boys
soft
in.
player. He's a hard man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's solid, isn't he? He's built like a brick house.
Yeah.
And he'd be good to bring on, you know, if
Right.
we're finding it tough to get a goal, because he'll get you a header. He's tough. He's strong on the ball. Like, he reminds me a bit like Mark Hughes, but maybe not as good as Mark Hughes. But he reminds me because he can hold the ball up, and he's like competitive. He wants to win that ball.
Yep.
You know.
And
Yeah,
he's a
it'd
bit
be a
of
good addition to the side.
Yeah.
You know, I agree with you.
And Ellie, maybe let's take this, very generous super chat first from Deadeye Mike here. Deadeye Mike, really good to see you as well in the chat. And he's saying Kane gone about this the wrong way. All he's done is anger the fans in the club, and he gets a fine for missing training. We all know Kane wants to leave. Why not just put in the official transfer request? Yeah, this is what I think has been kind of the common statement, Deadeye. And honestly, this is kind of a bit of a diplomatic, kind of super chat as well, because a lot of people have said, listen, if he's always felt this way, if he's always, been planning to do this, to skip training, he should have just made his stance clear and just, send in the official transfer request, very early, and just made it easy for Paratici and made it easy for Levy. But seems like he didn't go about it that way. And if the rumors are true regarding him, skipping training intentionally, it's, he's definitely gone about it the wrong way. But Deadeye Mike, absolutely agree. David, what do you think on Deadeye Mike's here?
I'll be honest with you, I find it hard to argue with him. I really do. Look, I get it. Look, Kane has angered the fans. And look, angered the club too, but the club has also pissed him off. So that's a bit of
I didn't want to say that.
With the fans, look, yeah, he's angered us today, but we can never forget that he was the only player that did clap us off at the end of last season, and shows who really does actually really care about this club, and he is one of them players. We have to keep that. We have to remember that he's the only one that showed face as well when the rest of them went off the pitch sulking because they got booed. Had to be told and dragged out of the dressing room. Harry Kane didn't. So everyone, I would just keep that in mind. And to be honest with you, this is a guy that we had no use for. We loaned him out 9 or 10 times. Let's be honest. He forced his way. He got himself better. He's the one that done all the training, to make himself more professional. Yes, we gave him the facilities and stuff like that. But see, this is one I'm torn on, because look, I agree. Look, no players should ever be bigger than the club. Should never ever happen. They have that unite with Paul Pogba, and I don't want that situation. But oh man, this is a tough one, because it's Harry Kane, man. He's given everything to the club. He's the best striker since Jimmy Greaves. Look, we can be upset, but we don't need to be calling him a snake. That, for me, I just think is too far. I do think we have to remember the service he's given us. He could have gone before now, and he hasn't. You know what I mean? So we do have to remember all that. Look, it's just pissed me off. It has pissed me off, but it is what it is. I just want to say, big up Deadeye Mike. Thank you very much, man. Really do appreciate the support, man. Absolute legend. Everyone else, the chat is hopping. We are trying to keep up with it. Get your super chats in, and we'll get to them. Sorry, Ellie.
I was just going to say, it was quite evident that he wanted to leave by his emotions at that last. Yeah. I mean, he was hugging Son like so tightly, and it was a mutual respect between the two players, because they'd played so well all season. Yeah. And you could see that Harry Kane wanted to leave, because his body language, the way he hugged Son, it was evident that he was going to leave. So it's not a surprise that he actually missed training, because I think that's his way of saying, I don't want to be at Spurs anymore, I want to leave. You know, he's sending a clear message. I know we don't want him to leave because we love him, but I think it's time for him to move on, and then we can move on ourselves. Because at the end of the day, like you said, no player is bigger than the club. And we've recovered from losing fantastic strikers before.
Yeah.
We have. There's always a striker that can come in and do a job for us. And
definitely.
Score goals as well. Look, he steps up every time Harry Kane was injured. He actually plays better. Not obviously he plays better with Kane in the team, but when Kane's been injured, he steps up his game. He does. So we can look forward to a bright future without Kane as well. You know, I think we have to resign ourselves to losing him.
Yeah.
We have to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Ellie, maybe onto a bit of brighter news here. You know, with the Fabrizio Romano news that, you know, reportedly, you know, Tottenham are coming to an agreement with Atalanta on 50 million price tag for Christian Romero. Romero has even verbally expressed that he wants to play for Spurs and says that this is practically the chance of a lifetime for him. A lot of people have even said that, you know, he has a bit of that Højbjerg mentality, a bit of that dog kind of mentality. What do you make of the signing? I mean, what type of impact do you see him having on the squad and maybe even the defense?
Oh my God, I'm so excited because I've watched him. I've watched him play for quite a few years, and he won the Italian Defender of the Year, didn't he? So you don't win that lightheartedly, do you? You have to be a top player to win that accolade, because the Italians are they're artists at defending, aren't they? They know how to defend. All right, he's Argentinian, but he done it in the Italian league.
No, yeah.
So excited to see him at White Hart Lane, and he wants to play for us. A man he's saying it's his dream to play for us. So you imagine what he's going to give on the pitch. He's going to give 100% every single game. Him and Højbjerg, they're going to be awesome. And I think we're going to have a fantastic season. I hope it's not over the line yet, but it's nearly there, isn't it? So, yeah, oh my God, I'm so excited to watch him and actually defend. Not seeing Moon Boots and Sanchez and Aurier. Oh my God.
I'll stop, Ellie. I won't be able to sleep tonight. I won't be able to sleep tonight.
They're our nightmare. We've had sleepless nights because of it. All us Spurs fans. Oh my God.
And what do you make? And what do you make, Ellie, just quickly here, because, you know, we got you know, like, what do you make of maybe him being, you know, a bit similar to Højbjerg, according to a lot of people? He has that, you know, kind of leadership by example mentality. He's a bit naughty at times, kind of like Højbjerg as well. What do you make of that? Are you excited for that?
Yeah, I like a little bit of a sod on the pitch, you know, who's hard. Yeah, so I said Højbjerg's 5 players. And he's going to be 5 players, so that's 10 players.
Just need him, 2 of them and a goalkeeper,
Yeah, we don't need any of the other players, just them 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope Højbjerg scores a few more goals this season, because he can. He's got that in blocker. If we play him more forward, and we get a really solid defensive midfielder. Because Ndombele's not cut out to do defensive midfield like Jose was playing. No, sorry, he's an attacking midfielder. He's got too much skill, and he won't defend anyway because he hasn't got that in his locker. He's not that type of player who's going to track back. You've got to give these players free rein, you know.
Yeah.
And then with Romero, he can. I don't know if you've watched footage, he can bring the ball out so brilliantly, and he beats players when they're not there.
Yeah. He's a bulldog, Ellie.
He's a bulldog. I love him.
Definitely.
You imagine him and Højbjerg, they'll be comparing notes at half time, won't they?
I think they'll be probably collecting the bones that they probably collected, the bone fragments they collect from the players.
They'll probably be eating a few bones at half time as well.
Absolutely. Ellie, maybe this might be Sorry, there's a loud car outside. Ellie, this might be the last question where Will has very generously given me a question here, and maybe we can answer it together if that's all right with you, Ellie. If that's all right.
Yeah,
He says, Jack, the thing that gets me is this gentleman's agreement BS. If he wanted to leave 3 years back, if nothing won, like he said, why not put a clause in the contract before signing it back then? Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, I've actually even said this. I think I put this in the comments right in the beginning, Will, where I said, gentlemen's agreements, they're for cricket players, they're for polo, players. It's kind of something a bit more for kind of the elitist, maybe sports, you might say. But apart from that banter, I would say, yeah, Will, I think you're spot on that, gentlemen's agreements, they're not meant for this kind of a thing. If he wanted it to be written in paper, if he wanted it to be written in ink, he would have requested for it to be written in ink. And it's up to Levy, it's up to Paratici to see how they want to handle him in his last season. Because to be honest, if he wants to leave, he can just wait this one last season and he can be sold the next season. There are plenty of players that have done that before. There are plenty of players that have sat on the bench for an entire season and kind of sulked over there. And he can be, honestly, it'd be unfortunate if he were to go that route. But I don't think as much as Harry Kane is a legend to us, he's no bigger than the club. And so he has to decide whether to, continue to play for his last season with Spurs, or if he just is going to have to sit on the bench, because I don't really see Levy selling him, no matter how much he decides to sulk about it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ellie?
Yeah, I agree, because we can move on from Kane if he leaves. Obviously, we'll be heartbroken. All the Spurs players that love Harry Kane will all be broken. But we can move on, and we're gonna regroup, and we'll get another striker in that can score the goals that Harry can score. Maybe they won't score as many, but as long as we get near that, and then we can have other players that can chip in. We need to sign a creative midfielder though to partner Ndombele. Yeah. He needs somebody to feed off. He can't feed off defensive midfielders because they're like, their first instinct is to defend, not to pass forward. However good Højbjerg is, right? He's a defensive midfielder. If we play him more forward, like you said, David, once, he is more effective, but still he's not got like Eriksen's skill, or he's not that type of player. He's built to defend, Højbjerg. So we need another one to partner. Maybe Giovanni Lo Celso might come good. You never know, because
Maybe he might be the
Aussie.
Aussie.
He is a baller. He might not have that killer pass though. He's a bit more like Lamela. He holds the ball, but he knows when to pass. That's the difference. His decisions are better.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you, Ellie.
Got an upgrade on Lamela, haven't we?
I agree with you, Ellie, and hopefully Gio will turn into the Ozzy Ardiles.
I think so.
That. Yeah. And Will Stewart, big yourself up. Honestly, Will Stewart, really, really generous of you as well. I appreciate giving the question to me. Maybe as well, if someone wants to ask David something, or even one of our fans who's going to be coming on next, feel free to ask them a question as well. But yeah, really do appreciate it, Will, and everybody. Please, if you haven't checked him out already, please check out Will Stewart at THFC Rants. Will Stewart, THFC Rants. Honestly, please check him out. Really, really generous man there. David, anything to say to Will there?
Yeah, just quickly. Look, I find it hard to argue. If you want to leave after 3 years in the contract, put it in the contract. I'm sure you could put some sort of clause in there. You know what I mean? And he didn't. So, turn up for training like you're supposed to until you get sorted out from behind the scenes. I couldn't agree more with Will there, to be honest with you. And look, I love good arguments, and I would like to try and pick a hole in it and argue with Will here, but I actually can't. I actually can't. But,
tough one, Will.
Big up, Will. I really do appreciate it, man. Absolute legend, and everyone else, keep getting the super chats in. There is 418 people watching right now. It's hard to get everybody's comments up, so it is the way to go if you genuinely want your comment discussed and stuff like that. But Ellie, I want to say to you a massive thank you for your time coming on today. Absolutely insightful as always. The chat has been going mad about you. They're absolutely
Yeah.
loving you. They're saying that you know your ball, everything else. And what I will say is if you think Ellie knows her ball, well, check out our Spurs story, which is coming out on Friday. So check that out, and you'll know the history behind this woman. Ellie, absolute magnificent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Ellie.
Rest of the show, I will.
No, 100%, 100%. And look, I hope to see you in the comments. You know, we love your comments. Crack us up.
I'm not going to bed. Just put it that way.
Feel free to give us, a bit of the, any of the slander towards Winks, or, tell us what it's like, some of the players, some of the midfielders that maybe Tanguy should learn from, or maybe players that Gio should learn from, like you did in your Spurs story. I'm pretty sure we have a lot to learn.
Lovely.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, lads.
No, you're a legend. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you, Ellie. See you. Everybody, get in the comments and let Ellie know how much of a great appearance she's done again. Absolute tremendous. She mesmerizes every time she comes on. Big up, Ellie. I absolutely love it. We have a couple of super chats to get to, and then we are going to get on an absolute channel, another channel legend. We have 3 in a row today, and then it will be Philip Brady, guys. One that everybody loves.
The front three.
Went crazy for him last week, and even cracked me up last week, calling Ronald McDonald a human McDonald's. Still giggle at that all week. But Deadeye Mike says here, for me, I would get Bernardo Silva plus Laporte, 70 million for Kane, and go and get Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah.
We would have a better team overall. Jack, what's your opinions here on this?
Here's the thing. What I will say about Bernardo Silva, he's not necessarily, come out with it, that especially last season in terms of goals or assists. But with Bernardo Silva, he's actually literally has been for a long time one of the best players in all of world football at retaining possession. The man does not lose the ball. The man knows how to play a pass. He knows how to play it safe. He knows how to not lose the ball. He's also, as we've seen plenty of times, very skilled on the ball. He practically works harder than most players off the ball as well than Man City players. It's just maybe the end product that hasn't necessarily come through for him. But with Bernardo Silva and Laporte for 70 million, if Kane were to be adamantly kind of stuck up, I might say, David, I don't like to think about this way with Kane, such a legend. But let's say if he were to be really, stuck up about, wanting to move, about wanting to leave, to be honest, I would actually probably take that, David. And that's what's sad. It's really sad. But, if Kane, let's say, if we kind of convince him that, please just consider what's going to be happening this next season, just give Nuno a chance, then I definitely wouldn't take it. But if Charlie Kane is deciding for Harry Kane, then I probably would take that, David.
Yeah, 100%. Look, for me, Bernardo Silva, I do like him. I love Laporte. 70 million is nothing to be sniffed at. But I love Harry Kane more. I want him to stay. I'm never giving up my Harry. Everybody knows that.
Answer.
I'm my man. Ever. I can't do it. But big up there, Mike. Great super chat, my man. Absolute great super chat. Absolutely love it. And I appreciate the support, my man. We have one from Jiminy. He says, what did I miss? Why didn't Kane go to training? We don't know.
That's what we're trying to figure out, Jiminy. That's what we're trying to figure out. So maybe Jiminy, what we'll say is that Kane did miss training today. We're just trying to figure out whether it was on purpose. We're just trying to figure out whether it was COVID related. We're trying to figure out whether his brother, Charlie Kane is, behind it. We're only speculating. But Jiminy, I hope it's actually nothing. I actually hope we're all just completely over exaggerating this. And then there's just going to be egg on all our faces, the next morning, especially mine, I would say. But big up, Jiminy. What would you say to Jiminy there, David?
Yeah, I'd say, all we can go off is what's been reported today, that he didn't turn up for training. Could be a simple excuse, like, for instance, he had to go and take a test, whatever, his car broke down, it's in the mechanics. I know a lot of people are going to say, that he has to ease enough money, he should have 2 cars. I get that, but that's just wishful thinking on my behalf. Look, it doesn't look good, that's all I'm going to say. But no matter how much people convince me getting Laporte and 100 million or whatever would be a good idea, it's my Harry. I'm never giving him up for nothing. But look, big up, Jiminy. I really do appreciate it. And I actually hope you're keeping well, Jiminy. All the way from Australia, I think I have the right guy. All the way from Australia, I hope things are well with you, my man. I really do. And big yourself up. Marcelo, Yeah, channel member. Look, I'm Marcelo. You're an honorary member right now. I've only just seen your comment there. You shouldn't have done that. You're on the channel the whole time, my man. You didn't need to do that. But what a legend! I really appreciate it. JC says he does miss the 90s show. Yeah, it's still coming. It's coming out this week, my man. Don't worry about that. And
Yeah, we got one of the panelists coming. We got one of the panelists coming, David.
Yeah, we have one of the panelists coming on next. We have Kagum in the building as well. And we have Celery Agent, who's been out of the game for a little while. I hope you're keeping well, Celery. It's good to see you back, my man. It is good to see you back. We do have 416 people watching right now. Please make sure everyone smashes that like button. It really does help the stream. And Jiminy says he's all good. And he hopes I'm well. I'm all good, my man. Don't worry about that. But look, I don't want to waste any time. I want to get this next guy on. He's an absolute riot. And it's my man, Philip. Philip, how are you keeping, lad? And just to start with the question, what is it they drink up the north? I know you're living closer up there than me, so you might have a fair idea, and plus you're playing music. So
yeah, I'd actually forgotten about Harp Lager. They used to call it Harpic because it tasted like toilet cleaner, But apparently it's brewed in Dublin now, but it's very popular in the north. You don't get it down south much anymore, but it's a very popular drink up the north. So it'll be half what the boys are offered when they come over to the LAN match, if they get to play LAN.
Is it like a golden lager, a dark lager?
It's a golden lager, a bit sharp. And I don't drink now, but apparently it's a bit sharp.
Interesting.
It's not a mellow it's a bit of a sharp drink,
Interesting.
It used to be very popular here, but not anymore.
Right. Well, Philip, I mean, we've seen you in the comments earlier today. You're a bit worried, like I am, in terms of the Kane rumors. How are you feeling? Is it purposeful? Is it intentional? Maybe thinking on the Kane absence.
I don't know. Like this morning when I heard this, I was disappointed and upset, I suppose would be another word, and actually quite sad because I really thought that Harry would not take this route. Like, it's been rumored for a while he wasn't going to turn up for training, and I suppose now nobody gave it much thought. But what actually happened now, that's if there is no genuine reason for it, which, let's face it, if they come out tomorrow morning and say he had a doctor's appointment there or something, that he couldn't go, well, we're all going to look pretty foolish talking about it. Yeah. But we assume that there is a problem. He didn't turn up for training today. I do not like this. It's tarnishing his image. Like, Harry Kane has always his image of a real hometown boy, good, clean living guy. He doesn't get involved in anything that he shouldn't be doing, And here he is acting like one of the flyboys, like Paul Pogba or something, making a statement by doing this, Yeah. It's disappointing, and he's really at war with the club now because he's in breach of contract. Like, his contract tells him you have to turn up on a certain day when you're asked. He didn't turn up. He's going to be fined. I mean, that's like, I don't know, finding a footballer is just a joke. Unless you find him a month's wages or something, that might hit home a bit. It's got to be, you find him £1,000 for not turning up for training. So he has that in his back pocket. It's just not, it's not a punishment. But now he's into conflict with Levy. Like, instead of coming in this morning and going, listen, boss, or chairman, I want to see you. I want to discuss my future. And another thing that's gotten me mad, if he really wants to go, why has he not asked for a transfer? Yeah. Because, now, I don't know what the rules are now, but there used to be a situation that if a player was transferred without requesting it, he got 5% of the transfer fee, which in Harry Kane's case, it would be a very significant amount. But if he asks for a transfer, he gets zip all. He gets nothing.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
To do with it. He's trying to force the club's hand now by maybe misbehaving a little bit. And they'll say, oh, we don't want this boy causing havoc and upsetting the rest of the players. But it's really, I don't know how it's going to finish. I mean, City cannot buy Grealish and Kane without raising alarm bells all over the place. Where are they getting the money from?
Yeah.
If they buy Grealish, they have to sell players to buy Kane. And are they going to sell enough players in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it is, before the transfer deadline finishes? I can't see it happening. Like, I'm like David. I hope to God he stays, but it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't at this stage.
I know what you're saying, Philip. And to be honest, in terms of the fines, I hope there may be enough. So he has to decide between, either, hopefully they're hefty enough, or, it's, he might struggle, to pay off the Lamborghini payments, or, or maybe, the Egyptian sheets, right? Can't come in, soon enough. Kind of he has to decide between the two. So hopefully, it's that significant. But do you think maybe his brother could be possibly behind some of this, Philip? Do you think maybe Charlie actually, the Gooner himself might, be maybe whispering in his ear, maybe from the left-hand side?
For a guy that's earning 200 grand a week, I'm amazed he can't afford a proper agent. It seems to me
it's maybe a case of him like thinking that he's like, kind of giving all the family living out of his career sort of thing, rather than him not affording an agent.
Do that. I mean, get him cut your grass or drive you to the shops or something, but not be an agent. I mean, agents is a specialized occupation. You don't say, Charlie, here, go and negotiate with Levy. Put Levy in a meeting with Charlie Kane. It'd be like putting me in with Mike Tyson. It's just, it wouldn't last 2 minutes.
I
do think he is probably behind this. And unfortunately, Harry has listened to him when he should have told him, go and cop yourself on.
Philip, you're spot on there. Even my own father said there's no one that cuts the lawn better than my own son.
They are.
So that's what honestly Charlie should be doing for Harry. That's what Charlie should be doing for Harry.
Levy would spit him out. He really would. He's not in the same league, And if Harry Kane had an agent like what do you call George Mendes or some of them hard hitting agents, then I think Levy would not be too happy talking to guys like that. But no, Charlie Kane is not going to cut any ice. Levy is going to say to Charlie Kane, Charlie, your brother's not leaving. Tough shit. And Charlie probably said, okay, thanks, boss, and head out the door.
I certainly hope so.
Well, I hope so.
But maybe let's say Harry, we're speaking in horrible hypotheticals here, Philip. But let's say Harry, it ends up being a bit of sulking about it, kind of just forcing the move. Would you maybe accept that original bid that City gave of 100 million plus maybe some player like Laporte?
Well, I mean, okay, if he downs tools.
Right, exactly. If he downs tools,
then there's no point in keeping him, But he's going to ruin his reputation if he does that. If that became the case, 100 million and Laporte would probably be the minimum we'd take.
Yeah.
We're talking about Aki. I don't think Dele Alli would let him in because the two of them couldn't have the same haircut, So no, I think Laporte is probably the one. I mean, he owes us one after scoring the winning goal against us in the League Cup final there. Anyway, so
I think Ake even wears it better. That would be the problem, actually, Philip. When you
but whether he'll come, like I mean, it's okay saying we like Laporte, we like Sterling, we like Jesus. Yeah. Will they come? I mean, you could have a situation where City are about to buy Kane, 100 million plus one of them guys, and they say, "No way, I'm not going to Spurs." Then where are we?
Yeah,
that's another hypothetical situation that could arise.
Yeah.
So no, I think there's an awful long way to go in this one yet. And certainly, if Kane is going to be a Man City player, he's not going to be one in time to play against us in the first match of the season. That is an absolute certainty.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's a good point as well. Actually, Philip, that's a really good point as well. David. Yeah.
Yeah. So Philip, you're kind of at look. If City came in with another 100-odd million, minus the players. You would take that and let him on his way, would you, and rebuild?
Reluctantly, but that's only if he was making noises that he was. Say he went publicly and said he was down on tools, or he wasn't going, or he wasn't happy. He was very unhappy with the way he was being treated. If he reaches the point of no return, then we have to let him go. I think reluctantly. Again, it's I don't want him to go, but you have to be realistic at the end of it. But then again, I mean, is it going to give us time to bring in a striker if he does go? I mean, I've heard Danny Ings will be a reasonably good replacement, but I really think we should be aiming a little bit higher than that.
Yeah, I agree.
Who is there? Who is there out there? I don't know.
In terms of Premier League quality available, not very much. We would have to take a chance on somebody, and I think you're spot on there, Philip.
Yeah, I'll tell you one who somebody was putting up his or his CV on the thing today was the Wolves guy. What do you call him? The guy that got injured last season. No, not Traore. Jimenez.
Yeah.
Jimenez is very underrated. Okay, he's coming back from a bad injury, so you wouldn't know how up to speed he is now. But someone like Jimenez could cut it. And the fact that he's another Nuno boy as well would be a help.
Yeah.
Traore, I think Traore is a bit like a bit of a headless chicken. I mean, he's very powerful and great. I mean, he gives fullbacks nightmares, but his end result isn't great.
Yeah.
Do you think he actually might even steal too much of the baby oil away from Delhi as well? You know, they might, end up having, buy their own bottles, and they wouldn't be able to share, because they use too much of it.
Well, I think if Boots the chemist could open up a franchise in the dressing room, it would keep both of them happy,
Yeah, 100%. I fully agree. Look, they'll take the sock tape out and they'll fill it with baby oil just for them. But I just want to say, Gaguma, thank you so much for the super sticker. Really do appreciate the support. Everyone else, feel free to get in your super stickers or your super chats with questions for myself, Jack, Philip, or any other guests who we have coming on. We do have the Yid Kid, followed by Chris, followed by Marcelo, followed by Bob Spur. So we do have a good few waiting there, guys. But Philip, look, another couple of players would be interested to hear your thoughts on is Japhet Tanganga and Skip. Look, rumours have it that the two of them could be on loan, could be up for loan. What's your thoughts on this? Would you loan them out or would you keep them at Tottenham Hotspur? Me personally, I'd keep both of them. No,
I keep both of them. Yeah, especially Skip. I mean, okay, Tanganga might not get as much game time as depending on who we bring in the defensive side of things, but certainly I think if Oliver Skip went out, there'd be a mini revolution amongst the fans.
Yeah,
we all saw what he did with Norwich last season. Norwich want him back, and I can see why. Like, it would be absolutely crazy to lend him back to a team like Norwich, and he can't go back into the Championship because he's proved himself he's better than that. So Skip has to stay because he's going to play a big part this season. And if Skip does go, then I would seriously start to wonder what the hell's going on in that club.
Yeah, great point there. Great point saying he's still good for the Championship. Another player I want to speak to you on is the Romero deal. Look, it does look like it's going to happen with them getting Mehmet Demiral from Juventus coming in the other way and kind of sort of like his replacement. Are you happy with the deal, and do you think it will get done this week now Romero's back off holidays, or do you think it's just smoke and mirrors and we're being played?
No, I don't think so. I think, if this doesn't happen, I don't think you can blame Spurs for it. I think it's Atlanta have been the delaying factor here. I mean, changing the goalpost every 5 minutes. Romero, I watched some of his videos, and I'll tell you, he is a serious operator.
He's an animal, isn't he?
He's an animal. He's a beast. He's just what we need.
He's a dog without a muzzle. He's a dog without a muzzle, Philip.
Yeah, it'd be like having a Rottweiler on the pitch. I mean, he just does not give up. And his interceptions are absolutely the way he seems to anticipate where the ball is going. And I'll tell you one thing: he scored a few good goals with his head as well.
Yeah.
So I think Romero will be an absolutely brilliant signing for us. And if we get Tomiyasu or the other, what do we call him, Japanese? Yeah, I think I know that if we got those two in, and what do you call him? It's the other one we're looking at. We got Gill. So I'm losing track of myself here. And another forward to come in. The problem we're going to have here, if Levy sells Kane on the 30th of August, we're buggered. We've no chance. We've no chance of getting a forward in. So we're going to have to get somebody in between now and then who might say, I'm going to be playing understudy to Harry Kane. Why do I want to go to Spurs? Or I might be the number one striker at Spurs. So it's a kind of a toss a coin job. Am I going or am I not going?
Yeah.
Because Levy's going to play this right down to the wire. Absolutely going to play it down to the wire. And I think if Harry Kane has any gripe to have, it shouldn't be with Spurs. If City wants him that badly, they would have made an offer now.
Yeah, right.
That Levy is going to seriously consider. They haven't done that.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but probably because they can't, because even they aren't in the financial position to buy Grealish and Kane at the one time without selling a few boys.
Which is, I mean, if they did, there'd be serious questions to be asked. There would be. But look, Phil, we have a question from Bob Spur TV. Phil, who in your memory was the first player to kick up a fuss over wanting to leave? Hasn't this sort of thing always been around but never reported?
Good question.
That's a great question, actually. In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, when there wasn't social media, you didn't really hear a lot about these things. It's only what the reporters were able to, glean from their contacts around the club. Who was the first one? Jeez, I can't think of anybody in the 70s. Pat Jennings didn't want to leave, but he left. Going to the 80s. I'm sure. Honest to God, I can't think of anybody up to the 2000s, and because Modric and Bale will be the two classic examples that we have there. I'm sure there were players that maybe have not as high a profile as those guys that wanted to get out, and they probably just asked for a transfer, and they were sent off somewhere.
Yeah,
but it was harder to know about it. Maybe is what you're
that's
saying.
the thing. You'd say such and such asked for a transfer, but not like now, where every transfer request is forensically detailed to find out what the reason for it is. Like well, some guys might want to move back up. Maybe they were homesick. I mean, that was the thing back in the early days. Players were homesick.
Yeah.
I suppose the one player who kicked up a fuss over leaving, and it wasn't because he wanted to leave. He's been given his hell ever since. Is Graham Souness.
Yeah.
When he was let go up to Middlesbrough, I think it was in the 70s. He hasn't let up on us since.
No, that's why Sky Sports roll him out every Spurs game just so he can be anti-Spurs.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he's not the only one. He's part of the clique that does that.
Yeah. And you have Jamie Redknapp bitter over his old lad, at Tottenham and stuff like that. Look, it's so obvious, But look, Philip, I think we already got your answer on this. You kind of gave it away early, but
thank you, Bob Spur.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to say a massive thank you to Bob Spur for the super chat.
Great question. Great question.
Yeah, and look, Bob, Phil really appreciates it too. He says it's a great question. And guys, look, keep getting your super chats in. It's a great way to support the channel. I really do appreciate it. But Phil, obviously, I think you'd like a day up to Larne.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I looked up. Their ground holds 2,500 people. Inver Park. It's owned by the local. It's owned by a local charity, and all the profit from the football club go into the local community.
Oh, wow.
So from that point of view, it would be nice. But like on a capacity of 2,500, we're going to get 200 tickets, roughly 10% of it. Whereas the other crowd, the place in Porto, where the Portugal where they're playing, it's near Porto, which would be a handy place for flying into. But their ground holds 9,000.
Yeah.
So it's more realistic. Now, I would say the Portuguese team will be too strong for Larne, to be honest with you, because the quality of the Irish league now wouldn't be, with no offense to anybody listening in from the north, wouldn't be great.
No, every offense meant it is a shite league.
Yeah, I mean, coming over from the UK, it's brilliant though. It's only 19 miles from Belfast, and it's on the ferry port. Literally, you get a ferry into Larne. So it's a great spot to go for anyone that gets a ticket for the match.
Looks,
good insight there.
Don't even need a ticket, lad. You can still go up and enjoy yourselves.
Well, you can there's probably houses next door that are higher than the main stand. You can probably hire a bedroom to look out over the stand and watch the ground.
Yeah, we'll be looking for an Airbnb in Larne. In a high rise, lad. In a high rise.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I remember back in the 1980s traveling to Dundalk to see Spurs play in a Cup Winners' Cup. I'll tell you, that was a scary night. They nearly bloody beat us.
Yeah, and you're taking your life into your own hands going there sometimes.
That's true.
Anyone from the dock knows exactly what I'm talking about, But, look, Jack, have you any more questions for Philip?
No, maybe Philip has actually kind of breezed through them, so maybe I'll just leave one more for him here. Philip, are there any players, considering that, maybe we've signed finally, a center back, would there be another center back that maybe you're keen on, or a striker, or just any player in general that you do think that maybe, Spurs, need to get into the squad in order for us to have any sort of a decent season?
Well, I mean, I think if we get
or even a position, any position.
We get Romero, we get Temiyasu. Okay, that might sort the defense out. Sanchez might be going to Seville, so that's another one maybe he might need to replace. The guy in midfield that I wouldn't mind getting hold of, but he seems to have gone off the radar recently, is Skriniar. Oh, not Skriniar. Sabitzer. That's the one. I keep mixing them two up. Yeah. He seems to he's available for a relatively small fee.
He's supposed to be available for pennies, but nobody's buying him. I guess is the thing.
And I would try and get Jimenez in up front for the fact that he's a good striker and he knows Nuno. And if they were giving him away, I'd take Traore, but I wouldn't go overboard to get him because I think that guy's going to have a weight problem. He seems to be very bulky. I'd say now, he could be like some of the footballers of the 70s. He looked like he's been on that. I won't go back to the McDonald's again, but you know what I'm getting at.
It probably would be a lot easier, considering actually maybe it is actually hard for us to negotiate with Southampton. So maybe it might be hard for us to get Danny Ings, but would you choose between Danny Ings or Jimenez? Who would you pick?
I'd go for Jimenez. I think you're right about Southampton. I think they've had such a sickener of dealing with Levy over the last few seasons, with Alderweireld and what do you call him, Højbjerg. So I think it's a case of whenever the phone rings, they probably have Levy's number blocked at this stage. So,
Jimenez will be Hitchens. He's got to call from Hitchens number.
yeah, he rings him a hidden number now.
He had to ring them on private number, Philip.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that all being said, I mean, I know the Harry Kane thing is a distraction and it's unfortunate and whatever. I'm still keeping my positivity for next season.
Yeah,
I still think we're going to be okay.
That's good to hear, Philip. That's good to hear.
I absolutely love the positivity, Philip. And look, people loving you in the comments again. Everybody get in the comments, tell Philip how much we appreciate him and thank him for his time coming on. And, some great views there, Philip. Some great views. And I really appreciate it. I really enjoy every time you come on, my man. So thank you.
No problem. And, well, let's see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, Philip, we're all just wrong and we all just have egg on our face the next day. And, maybe it's just all that, bit of embarrassment over overreacting is maybe what is.
Well, let's hope we'll all wake up in the morning and think, no, the last 24 hours was only a dream for everybody. It didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what
I'm the Harry Kane whisperer. I'm going to send him another message, send him another song to listen to, and hopefully I can persuade him to stay.
I'll tell you, David, one other player we should sign him. I said this yesterday in a tweet. We should sign Daniel Flynn from Kildare. That's one hell of a strike he had yesterday.
Yeah, honestly, do you know what? With Kildare, Philip, just quickly, I was pissed off. The amount of shots they took and just dropping into the keeper's hand. It's unforgivable at that level. It really is a joke. I'm disappointed Kildare lost the final to Dublin. Of course, I'm sick of them. We all are. I'm just sick of them. They win every year. It's not even a competition anymore. It's getting beyond the joke. But look, Philip, I love the optimism. I love the positivity, and we will still have a good season this season. I'm quietly optimistic on something special.
Too many good players not to have.
Yeah,
really. A new manager to prove himself. We'll be all right. We'll be okay.
We will. And guys, if anyone wants to see more of Philip, tune in to the 90 show this week. Probably tomorrow or Thursday, I'll let everybody know. But we will be getting the 90 show out this week. We'll be getting Simon, we'll be getting Arthur again, getting them back from their holidays, their little break, and getting them all back. I do miss Simon and Arthur too. But Philip, absolutely brilliant.
Thank you, Philip.
I absolutely enjoyed it again.
No problem, lads. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll see you soon, Philip.
Thanks for coming on, Philip.
Bye.
Good night.
Absolute legend. What a man, guys. Get in and show Philip some love. He deserves it. Couple of super chats to run through here, Jack, and then we'll get on the Yid Kid. So look, Brad Matthew says, great show, great guests. We all need a drink. This one's on me. Look, Brad, you're too kind. I really do appreciate it. Look, out of that, that'll get me a nice pint of Guinness, my man. One that if Kane does leave, the pint of Guinness that I might need to help me sleep at night. I really do appreciate it, Brad. And look, another great appearance, and I'm glad to see you flourishing now. More confidence in you, getting on to likes of We Are Tottenham TV and everything else. Absolutely love it, Brad, and appreciate it, my man.
Thank you, Brad. Cheers, Brad.
Greatest name on the planet. One that is given to kings, one that is given to great men, men that want to win. So it's a great name, David. My name too. Dave, love your new setup. Look, just on that quickly, and then I'll hand it over to Jack. Really do appreciate it. It's the new setup. I've got the mic, I've got the computer, I've got the desk, I've got a little station to work. And believe me, the content's going to be 10 times better. I told you a few weeks ago, that when the season starts, things are going to change around here. Well, I've already done a little bit of a change and there's more to come, believe me. So I really do appreciate that. But Jack, he says, asking great questions as always.
Yeah, no, appreciate that, David, as well. It's a great name. It's a biblical name. It's the name of leaders of countries. It's a fantastic name. And then as well, it's great to see David, now finally upgrading from the wooden chair and from the phone. David was
wooden chair was giving me piles, lad.
I was just going to say, David was practically he was getting splinters in the posterior. He was it was just too much on him. And honestly, it's great to see him upgrade, and actually, treat himself a little bit. But also as well, though, it's only thanks to your guys' support as well, though, that David has actually been able to do this, and David has actually been able to upgrade this. So as much as you like seeing, David being this comfortable, it's only thanks to you guys that you're being able to see David this comfortable. So everybody, big up yourselves in the comments. Everybody, pat yourselves on the back for the comments, because it's been everybody from just liking the streams to recommending it to sharing it to sending in the super chats, of course, as well. But everybody, you really did get David, to the chair, to the computer, to the desk, to everything. This is all provided to you, all provided for David by you guys. So honestly, big yourselves up. And David, I do appreciate the compliments on the questions. And then as well, I also love listening to Brad and Philip, especially when Philip, last week when he was saying the human McDonald, he was just on his stuff last week. I will say, Philip, he was absolutely class. And then Brad as well. They're both really breezy on the questions, David. They're almost kind of professionals. Maybe we got to save a bit more questions for these guys. They're kind of, they're a little too slick for us.
Yeah, look, maybe we have to start producing more, because they're absolutely breezing through them. But look, that's just how much of a slick operators they are. They're brilliant. And this is the great thing about these fan shows. We have, like, from the likes of Daniel and Robbie and Fen, who come on, to the likes of Arthur, Simon, Philip, people like that. It's all an age range. And then in the middle, we're stuck with Marcelo, the likes of Chris, people like that. Bob Spur, I put him with the granddads. You know what I mean? But no, absolutely. It's mad, the fan show, like the characters we do get on it and everything. It's brilliant. You guys really do make this show. AG, welcome to the stream. We have TJ Davies, 91. Harry signed a contract. City haven't made an acceptable bid yet. Until then, Harry is a Tottenham player. Down in tools is a spit on the badge. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, look, City haven't made a bid yet. It is still in Tottenham's hands. He has 3 years left in his contract. We can kind of do what we want. We can just say, look, stop acting like a baby and get to training. But look, there's other things Harry Kane can do, but I don't think it will go to that length. But it'll be interesting to see. And he is a Tottenham player. Down in tools is a spit on the badge. I agree. It is a spit on the badge. It pisses me off. But I just think some of the slack he's getting isn't warranted. But I do agree it is a spit on the badge. I can't deny it. And big up TJ Davies, 91. Jack, have you anything to say on this?
No.
Today, but I'm finding it hard.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with some of these, David, especially because I know you've been waiting. You've been waiting to pick some of these apart, David, and you haven't had the chance yet. But TJ Davies, really appreciate the super chat. Really big yourself up. To be honest, I'm with David here. To be honest, these are really hard to pick apart as well. I will say that, with City, maybe not making a bid that might be acceptable to us yet, considering that, right, Harry did not send in that official transfer request. He did not send an official transfer request. If he sent an official one, we probably might have maybe accepted that original 100 million plus Laporte sort of deal that maybe was on the table. But that, we didn't really have that, maybe hindsight, available to us. So to be honest, we're in the situation we are in now. And I think, honestly, if he's going to down tools, it is an absolute spit on the badge. And to be honest, I really don't hope that that's the case, because I do think Harry is a better man than that, and he should know better than that as well. But TJ Davies, really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support and the super chat as well. Brian C here. Sorry, David.
No, I just said absolute legend, and thank you for the support.
Really.
And Brian C says, good call, Brad. Here's one from me too, but definitely not Harp. Guinness or Murphy's, depending on where you are. Love the new setup, David. Yeah, Brian C, look, Guinness for me. Not a big fan of Murphy's. Look, you can't beat an ice cold pint of Guinness from an ice cold glass that's been kept in the fridge and freshly poured into. I used to be a barman myself, so I'm very good at pouring a pint of Guinness. I know all the little tricks that go into the perfect pint, my man. So I really do appreciate it. It might even be a case where they should give it to me half price, because I just go in and put my own, Brian C. So I might even be able to get 2 for that, my man. Really, really do appreciate that, lad. What an absolute legend. Really? And next time you're down in Kildare, hit me up, man. I will definitely go for a drink and talk Spurs. I really do appreciate it. And everybody else, feel free to keep supporting the channel. It's a great help to us. And like I said, the new content that's coming up is going to be sick. I can't wait for it. But look, let's not waste any time. There's people waiting in the background. They've been waiting very, very patiently for ages. So let's get on the Yid Kid. Let's bring him on. Daniel, my man, on the flat cap. Absolutely love it. How are things?
Fantastic. Well, not on Spurs terms, but other than Spurs terms, life is good.
You're looking great though, by the way, Yid Kid. I was just gonna say you're looking proper. He's looking fit, David. He's looking handsome with the glasses, the specs, and the flat cap as well. You're looking great.
Yeah, it just arrived. He literally arrived right after the fan show from the last time.
Right, I think you
So
said
as
that.
soon as the fan show ended, it was like if the Amazon driver was watching David's fan show, and then he's like, "Oh, the fan show ends, now I have to deliver."
It seems like everybody's watching the shows lately, lad. Afterwards, so I could well have been watching it. But look, let's get into it, my man. What's your thoughts on the Harry Kane saga?
Look, it really is shocking. But at the end of the day, it's really Levy's situation because we would not be in this position if it wasn't for the state of the club right now. However, I think everybody's calling Kane a snake, which I don't agree with. But it really shocks everybody because Harry Kane is not Neymar Jr. Everybody would expect this more from a player like Neymar Jr. It's Harry Kane. This guy is the absolute professional. Nobody would really expect to see this news this morning. But look, honestly, I was expecting Harry Kane to leave this season, but I didn't expect it to happen like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just Levy is. A lot of people have been saying that it's a disrespect to the club, and I do agree it is a disrespect to the club. If they're going to be fining players like that, Harry Kane, and for not showing up for one practice, they should be fining Dele Alli for not showing up for a whole season.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with that. Jack, what's your question, my man?
No, Yid Kid, you're honestly spot on there. But as well, though, Yid Kid, do you maybe think that it just happens to me, maybe the Gooner, brother Charlie, that might actually be, Charlie Kane, that might be influencing him, from behind, maybe whispering, in his left ear, telling him maybe, where he needs to go, what he needs to do. Are you maybe convinced that it might just be Charlie that might just be, whispering in his ear?
Look, I actually think this was planned. Because there was a report way before this was happening. I'm saying from Germany in the Euros. From the Germany game in the Euros, there was a report that came out that the England players think that Harry Kane won't show up for the training sessions next season. I went over this in my podcast that exact day, and I was like, "Oh, it's from the Sun. I'm not gonna look too much into this." I crumbled it up and I threw it in the bin. I just can't believe how it actually happened. So I honestly think it was planned. I think Harry Kane, or maybe Charlie Kane did tell him to do it, but I don't think he just woke up in the morning. He's like, "Oh, you know what? I just don't feel like going to the training today. I just don't feel like going today." I don't think it's a situation where he did it on like he doesn't care about the club because he loves the club. And I'll say this again: he doesn't hate Tottenham Hotspur. He hates Daniel Levy. That's why this is going on. It's not like he spit on the badge. He spit on Daniel Levy. And that's where I think the separation of him being a snake gets distinguished. But when it comes to the Harry Kane, was Charlie Kane, I don't know if Charlie Kane was planning it. Maybe. But there could have been a few England players in there as well telling him to do it. Because I just remember him going over this report. I just remember going over this report and absolutely disregarding it. And now I could not imagine in my darkest dreams that 1 month later we'd be going over the exact situation happening.
Definitely. Yeah. To be honest, Yid Kid, you're right. To be honest, we couldn't have even imagined it going this way. And to be honest, it's maybe one of the most sickening ways it could be going. But hopefully, it is just something where, like we said before, maybe just the car broke down, maybe on the motorway. Maybe he just forgot to buy the wrong detergent this week, for in the house. Maybe they're just moving condos, and it's just a bit complicated right now for him. Or maybe even it's just something having to do with COVID tests. But to be honest, Yid Kid, you are bringing up a lot of good points. Yeah. But maybe, just maybe, Yid Kid, let's say that Harry Kane is in fact very adamant about leaving and is very even intention, let's say, on leaving. Would you then maybe accept that original bid of 100 million that Man City originally gave us?
I would accept 100 mil plus Laporte. That I would accept. I wouldn't accept, and I know Levy wouldn't accept 100 mil because it's Daniel Levy. We wouldn't be in this situation if he was a different mindset. type of chairman. But I think this what a positive that you could be looking at is that I think this situation could affect the move for Romero. I think if it does happen and we do get the 100 mil, it's gonna allow us to pay the extra 5 mil for Romero. Another thing is the Super League thing that happened, which was Barcelona. Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Juventus were still planning on staying in the Super League. This report came out like 2 days ago, and obviously all the Premier League clubs came out. But now there was reports that you'd have to pay a fine if you left the Super League because there was a contract that you couldn't leave, and that would mean that 300 mil would be fined from all the clubs that left to be paid to the clubs that are still in. So it was basically a game of poker now. If you would fold or if you would stay in, and Barcelona, Juventus, all these clubs, keep in mind that these are clubs that are right now are in the mud. Juventus, Barcelona, Real Madrid right now are in the worst financial situation in their lives. And pretty much now, if Harry Kane leaves, it will give a little bit more of a financial freeness for Tottenham regarding the Super League thing, but it won't allow us to make any transfers.
Yeah.
But I think this is very, very political.
Interesting.
We honestly don't know what goes behind the scenes. I remember a video came out from Danny Rose the other day, and he was saying,
That's the one with Ben Foster.
Yes, and he was talking about how much politics there is in football, and everybody. I went over it in one of my podcasts, and I was saying they could be talking about another Super League right now, and I was right. They weren't talking about another Super League. They were talking about the same Super League. And
it doesn't mean, just on that, it doesn't mean Tottenham and the rest of the clubs that pulled out are. It just means the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona are, because they need the money, because they can't even sign any players. They're the ones that need it. The Premier League don't need it. Premier League clubs don't need it. So I just want to make that clear. But Yid Kid, quickly before we got into Danny Kiriaku's comment here, and I ask you on Lautaro Martinez links, I do want to ask you, your father's a City fan, right?
Yes, he is, sadly.
Yeah. So what's going on with him?
Good question.
I'd say he's waking up, not making you breakfast, stuff like that, because he knows Kane's coming, so he's just telling you, like, not make your own breakfast, we only make breakfast for Harry Kane, stuff like that. Is he delighted?
I was getting ready for training earlier on today, and he told me, watch out, you're gonna miss your training like Harry. my dad is just another level of annoyingness when you have to live. I mean, I love my dad to death, but when he supports the other club, he's making your pancakes and he's putting the syrup in the shape of Manchester City crest, and like it's just he's running around singing, "He's one of our own, he's one of." Yeah, it's just a mess over here.
I'll be honest with you, I'd be taking a dump in one of his shoes or something like that if he was running like that. I'll be honest with you. But look, what's your opinions on the Lautaro Martinez links? To answer Danny here, Yid Kid.
Lautaro Martinez, lethal striker, but the question is, he's not going to match Harry Kane. So if we get a player like Lautaro Martinez, we're going to need a number 10, a creator, which we've been lacking since the Christian Eriksen. Now, Harry Kane filled that role last season because he was just on another level. He was scoring and he was playing that creator role. But now the question is, if we get Lautaro Martinez, who are we going to get for the creator position? Because I do think it's one that when Harry Kane goes is going to be one that we're going to be lacking, and we're going to see that straight away. Do you guys think that Giovanni Lo Celso is going to play in the position? Because I don't think. And I think if Lucas Moura does play in that position, it's not going to be to create. It's going to be to energize the field and to be distributing the ball up forward, because that's what Lucas Moura is best at. But Lautaro Martinez, I don't think he's a bad player with the options that we have. I mean, who else are we going to get? Ivan Toney. So Lautaro Martinez, not a bad shout. But after we'd have to get a creator.
Definitely. And
100%.
Also, thank you, Danny Kiriaki, for the super chat as well. I might quickly say Lautaro Martinez, he's only played, alongside another striker majority of his career. His fame has only blossomed next to Lukaku. He's still quite young. He was only even bought by Inter Milan not so long ago. So, I will say he's actually done quite well. He's lived up to the hype. He's lived up to the potential. But I think, maybe it would be a bit of a chance taking it on him. But Tin Man 007 here, David, with a super chat as well, very generous one. And Tin Man, it's always really good to see you as well in the chat. And Tin Man here saying Levy's plan is to make out that Kane gave him no choice but to sell. He did it with Berbatov, Modric, Bale, and now Kane. This is 100% on Levy. Yeah, this is an interesting one. But, some have even said, maybe Tin Man, I'm going to let David actually answer this mostly, but, maybe you might just say in response, some have even said that, Kane could have maybe gave, the transfer request ahead of time. But obviously, lots of times we do find ourselves, defending the very evil man that is Levy, the uncompromising one that is Levy, the Sith Lord that is Levy. And so, to be honest, you're probably spot on here, Tin Man. But I will say it might have made things a bit easier for Paratici if he had maybe just made it clear, whether he wanted to be investing in the future in Spurs or not. But yeah, David, what do you think on Tin Man's here?
Look, on this, with Levy, I didn't think I was thinking if the Romero one didn't go through, that wasn't on Levy. But this one is purely on Levy. Look, he knows Kane's ambitions. He knew, obviously he's the one that speaks from behind the scenes. He would have known last season that Kane wanted to leave and that he had a season to try and get everything in place to get the right players in, especially early in this window, to try and convince the man to kind of stay. He never done it. He's failed Harry Kane at every turn, every opportunity he's had. He sees the level that Kane's got to. He hasn't wanted to match it. Look, we as fans, we've seen a demise in players coming in terms of quality, and the demise of our club in front of our own eyes as well, of going down a bit like the Arsenal route. So look, this one is 100% on Levy. The only thing you can't blame on Levy is Kane not turning up for training. That is on him. He's a 28, 29-year-old man. He should know himself that he should be turning up for training. That's the only thing I blame Kane for, I have to say. But big up Tin Man 007. Good to see you back, my man. And really appreciate the support, my man. And I hope you enjoyed the answers. And Guguma with a super chat says, Yid Kid is awesome. Thank you so much, Guguma.
Very nice,
really
Guguma.
Appreciate that. And I know Daniel does too. Daniel, do you want to say thank you?
Yeah, thank you, Guguma. I always see her on my channel. She's always supporting all the Spurs channels. Big up, Guguma.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kaguma. Really do appreciate it. Everyone else. Chat is flying. Keep getting your comments in. Keep getting. We will try and get everybody's comments up on stream as we always do. If you want us to take time and discuss it, because there's so many to get through, super chat is the way to go. But Daniel, back to you, my man. Look, with Skip and Sessegnon, look, about reports about them being loaned out. What do you think? Do you want to keep them around? Because I think, look, if we loan out to Ganga, we will have to buy another centre back. If we loan out Skip, we'll have to buy another centre midfield option, or else that means we're keeping Sissoko. What do you think?
I don't think we're gonna loan them out. I honestly don't think we're gonna loan them out, because Nuno Espirito Santos, for sure, he has the youth in his mind. The youth is Nuno Espirito Santos' cup of tea. Nuno, I really, really think that he could develop. Obviously, I really, really want to keep Skip. That man looks like he's gonna be Skip and Højbjerg. My God, players are going to be scared of that partnership. That's going to be Skip and Højbjerg. You've got Skip playing long balls from one side of the pitch to the other, and then you've got Højbjerg making tackles that not even science can explain. It's just going to be a threat if we do keep Skip and Højbjerg. When it comes to the other players, though, I love Tanganga. I love Sessegnon. I think we should keep all the youth at this point in time, because we let them go last season, and we were lacking players at one point, and we were looking really, really bad. And we would have loved to have a player like Skip and Sessegnon in the club. I honestly don't. I'm not too. I mean, if there's one that's gonna leave, I think it's gonna be Tanganga. But I don't think it will be to the. I don't think. I forgot the club that he's been linked to, but I know it's not in England, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think if he does get loaned, it's going to be. If he does get loaned, I think it's going to be to a club in England.
Yeah. Interesting thoughts. And look, I'm just going to go off to get a quick drink, my man.
No problem.
So I'll leave Jack to ask you the last question about the Europa Conference League. Who you'd rather get? I'm just going off to get a quick drink, and I'll be back in 1 minute. And
yeah,
then,
no problem.
If I'm not back in time, just bring on Chris and get him on as well. Jack.
No problem, David. Yid Kid Daniel. I mean, if let's say we don't have the privilege, you and I, of being able to travel to any of these games, but who would you rather be Spurs playing against for the upcoming Europa Conference League game? Would it be the Paços de Ferreira from Portugal, or would it be the team from Northern Ireland, Larne? Would you mean you can pick it maybe based on which team you'd rather vacation to? You know, who would you rather play in terms of difficulty? I mean, how would you go about it?
I'd rather watch paint dry.
I mean, but Yid Kid, I will say, it's going to become a prestigious competition simply because, Spurs are the ones that are entering it. Spurs are the ones that, will be the first to win it. So it will become a prestigious competition. So,
if I go to any of the games, it's going to be Roma versus Tottenham. Because obviously Jose Mourinho, that might be the final in my opinion. Whenever that game happens, I think the tournament is over. We won't even be able to hear the commentators with the train going around the pitch. It's just going to be... Obviously, at least we got European football. Arsenal didn't. But to be honest, I would have rather get Europa League. But, I mean, we're expected to win it. We make this competition a bit bigger than what it is. If Tottenham was not in this competition, the viewers would go way, way down. Way down. So I think Europa Conference League is just, it's just going to be for the youth. I think it's going to be for those players that don't play, for Goyini to play, for a bunch of other players that are not going to start in the Premier League matches to start. That's what I'm going to be looking for the Conference League for.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. But anyways, when it comes to the Conference League, I would have rather been in a higher division of Europe, obviously. But I'll be watching every game. If there's one game that I would go to, it would be Roma. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. A Roma Tottenham game does sound quite lovely. Maybe, especially, maybe for your first chance to see the lane, or even maybe your first chance to see Italy. I think either or would be brilliant. But Yid Kid, Daniel, I mean, where can the people find you? A lot of people have loved you in the comments. They've absolutely loved everything you've had to say. Where can they find you?
Well, for now, I'm on the Yid Kid channel, but I'm going to actually be moving my channel because of the monetization. My name, when I get monetized, I want to change it now before I start growing more, and I'm going to have to change it. So I'm actually going to be, there's a channel called The Spurs Kid on YouTube. It used to be called the Yid Kid Live, which is where I did all my live videos. But now it's called The Spurs Kid. So eventually I'm going to be moving on to that channel. So it would be fantastic if you could subscribe to both. But mainly the Spurs Kid, because that's where I'm going to be moving on eventually too. But I've been privileged to have both of you guys on my channel. You guys can also follow me on Twitter at the Yid Kid. But thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
No, I really appreciate it. Great insight as always. And look, again, another one the fans love. So everybody, please do get over and check out the Yid Kid and the Spurs Kid, the other channel that he has up and running there too. So do get over and check him out. But Daniel, thanks so much for giving up your time and coming on, my man.
Thanks for having me, David. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. And Nuno, we trust. Big up, Daniel.
Absolute legend. Look, we'll keep flying through them. We have Chris next, then we have Marcelo, then we have Bob Spur, then we have Danny. Chris, look, no introduction needed. Everyone knows exactly who you are. Look, what's your opinions on Harry Kane?
Right, first of all, Dave, there's no jokes coming from me tonight, mate. It's so serious tonight, I'm afraid. Harry Kane, right. Oh, where do we start with Harry Kane? David, you know my opinions on Harry Kane. You've seen it in the chat tonight. No player, I don't care if it's Harry Kane, whoever, they're not bigger than the club. The club comes first of all. That's first and foremost. No matter how much I love Harry Kane, he does not come bigger than the club. Sorry, I don't see that. Look, he may have the Guna brother in his ear. What's he, Mini Raniola now? Thinks he's going to start putting the things in his ear hole. Come on, mate. No, it don't work like that. Kane's still got another contract for what? Another 3 years. Be respectful to the club and do the right thing.
No, I mean, Chris, though, but obviously we're saying this to Kane, but do you think we should be saying this also maybe Charlie? Do you think maybe Charlie is the one that might be actually influencing Kane to be making these kind of decisions?
Well, Charlie Raniola can just keep his mouth shut and say nothing at all, to be fair, can he? At the end of the day, Harry Kane's still got his contract for another 3 years. So if he didn't want to be there, he shouldn't have signed that 6-year contract. If he knew his plans years ago, he should not have signed.
Yeah. And to be honest, maybe Chris, quickly, do you think would we view Kane a bit differently if he was doing this whole fuss? Maybe, a year from now, let's say it happened a year from now, there's 2 years left on his contract. We probably wouldn't actually view it this way.
Not really. I don't think it. Look, if he would have done it in the right way, as you said earlier, Jack, put the transfer request in like he wanted it, I don't think the fuss would have been made. It's the fact that he's gone in the wrong way to do it, and he's shot himself in the foot. David, cast your mind back to the very first stream I've done with you when I said Daniel Levy now will dig his heels in. Now Kane's done this. Now Daniel Levy's going to do what he does best: dig his heels in and say, "You know what, Harry, you're going nowhere. You still got 3 years left on your contract. There's nothing you can do."
Yeah.
I said this to you, David, from the first time I came on your stream, David.
Yeah. No, you did. You did, to be fair. And it's just gutting though, Chris, isn't it? It really is gutting. But look, another person I'd love to hear your opinion on. Do you think it is Charlie Kane influencing him and kind of, badly advising him to do that? Or do you think it's one that Kane just said, look, I want to move from Tottenham. It's the only way to do it. What's your thoughts on that?
I think he's been an influence personally, but I don't think it's just by Charlie Kane. I think it's from the other England players when he was at the Euros as well. They got the ones in his ear. You know what, Harry? If you really want to win something, go to the Manchester City. Go there. You're going to win a trophy, guaranteed. That's what I believe. That other players have influenced him as well. Not just his brother. No, I don't think it's just his brother. I think it's other players around him as well.
Do you think Miley Cyrus, aka Foden from City, got
Quite probably, and probably Carl Walker, probably Carl Walker as well.
Yeah,
because don't forget Carl Walker and Harry got a history from when they both were at Tottenham. So Carl probably whispered in his ear, "You know what? I've won how many trophies since I've been to Manchester City? Come across."
Yeah.
But that, for me, Harry Kane, he's shot himself in the foot big time. And when you make a bed, you have to lie in it, and that's what Harry Kane's going to have to do now.
But then Chris, this is what I mean is that maybe the reason why everybody's maybe reacting so kind of strongly maybe towards Kane is just simply because we kind of just were thinking, look, this could be Kane's last season, considering what our prospects are. This might be the last season that we'll be seeing Kane playing for us, and now he's even cut it off even earlier than that. Is that maybe the reason why we're reacting so strongly to it? It's just because, like you're saying, he's no bigger than the club. He should just honor his contract and should just honor the fact that he should just wait another season until they have to sell him.
For me, I'm not going to be one of these people who say, oh, he's a snake. Because Harry Kane has given a lot for the club. But what he's done this time is for me, is a wrong one. He's done a total wrong one. He's done the wrong thing in the worst way possible. So, Jack, yeah, maybe he's been influenced, but still, you're under contract. Do the right thing and just show up for training. Put your head down.
How much of us listen to our brothers even too? When you think about it as well, Chris.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, obviously, if my older brother says something to me, I'd have to listen to him. Do you know what I mean? But
I actually was saying the opposite. I guess I'm the older brother, so if anything, my younger brother would tell me, I do the opposite. I think he's playing a trick on me, and even the case with the older brother as well.
Yeah, but Jack, at the same time, when you're a professional footballer, when you get 200 grand a week, you can't be listening to what your brother's saying. He's his old man. He's 28 years old. Be a man and say, look, I've got my contract there. Let me just do the right thing. You can't have his brother whispering in his ear. You know what? Just think about it, Harry. You can get 400 grand a week at Manchester City. No, it don't work like that. You still got another 3 years on your contract.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No, I agree.
It's that simple.
Yeah. I agree. Adam, I just want to say, I did steal that one from Jack, my man. Jack calls him Miley Cyrus, and I love it. Steve R is saying, chill out till you hear why H didn't show up today, i.e. the truth. Yeah, no, look, there could be something behind it, 100%. Tim Man 007 says, if we sell Kane, then every club will increase their prices for any players who want to sign. Also, who would want to join us after selling Kane? And having a chairman who has no ambition. First of all, Tim Man, thank you so much for your generosity.
Agreed.
I really do appreciate it. And second of all, that is a fantastic comment. Chris,
he's done it again, David. He's done it again. He's making it impossible to answer too.
I can't really answer that what Tim Man said there, because to be honest with you, he's spot on. Yeah. Who would want to come to us after the bald little fraud Daniel Levy is doing what he's done for years?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No. Daniel Levy starved us for 20 years. And now Harry Kane, okay, he's done a wrong, but in a way, you can't have to say, can you really blame him for it? Can you really say, oh, Harry, you're out of order for doing that? No, you can't. He's wanted to success. He said that. Daniel Levy made all the false promises to him. You know what? We're gonna do this. No, you haven't done fuck all. You've done nothing. What you've done is lie and spin a load of bull.
Yeah,
that's what he's done.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more, Chris. Look, on this as well, Tim, man, I fully agree with you. You know, every club is going to increase the price on what they want for their players if we do go in for them, because they know we have the money and they need it. And also, I agree, who does want to come to Tottenham? I get it. Look, in this one I'm also torn, because Premier League's a different animal. Look, our clubs are bigger than the likes of Atlanta and stuff like that. So you probably will be able to get a couple of players in. But I agree, you're not going to get massive players in for that money. You're not going to get a statement signing, as some would say. So I fully agree, Tim Man. And Jack, have you anything to say to Tim Man, my man?
No, but Tim Man, to be honest, I was going to say what I kind of said in the beginning. Tim Man, I don't know what it is. You know, maybe he's taking the philosophy pill today, you know, David, because he's just given us all these questions that we have no answers to. And he probably even knows it as well. He knows that he's right on these. He knows that he's going to stump us. And honestly, you showing us this generosity, Tin Man, while stumping us with these questions, as you know,
he's spot on though, Jack.
That's what I'm saying, Chris. He's actually spot on. I don't know what to say to him.
For Tim Man's comment there, there's no answer to give, because at the end of the day, I won't agree with most of what people say in the chat, right? But Tim Man, this time, I can't argue with. It's for a change. I can't make a sarcastic comment, and I can't actually argue with it.
Tim Man's probably raging. He wants a debate here, Chris. He's probably raging.
Chris, maybe I'll give an answer to it. And this is a horrible answer, you know, to his fantastic question. But what if we bought two strikers in? What if, let's say, we sold Kane, we brought in the likes of Vlahovic or Martinez, and then maybe someone else on top of that, like an Ings or someone else? Like, what would you say? Maybe what if we got two strikers in, you know, for the price of what Kane is?
Yeah, you could do that, Jack. But who's going to be the creative player? Since Eriksen left, who's going to create? Harry Kane was doing the job of two players last season. Yep. He was the creative player and he was the goal scorer. Who's going to replace that? We didn't replace Eriksen. We never replaced Eriksen when he left.
Still haven't replaced Eriksen. Yeah,
and we still haven't replaced him. So Lo Celso can't be that creative because he spends more time injured. And Ndombele, when he wants to play, he'll play. And there's just not the players there to do it, Jack. Let's be real. There isn't.
Yeah, Chris, that's I even tried to answer 10 Man's, and then you're spot on. And I guess people have said this, but this is what makes it unrealistic. And I think you even said this, Chris, is we would have to get two strikers and then that creative midfield option, the new Eriksen. But can you really do that, like in this span of time and at this stage of the market and all these things?
No way.
Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Yeah.
If it was the start of the transfer window, you might have a half a chance. Right. Okay, certain clubs at the moment are struggling because of the COVID pandemic, right? Where they haven't got the money to buy the players in, so they're having to sell. That would be all good. But look at how much time we've got left. We've got about 3 weeks till the end of the transfer window. We've got to sign two strikers and a creative midfielder. That, unless a miracle happens and Daniel Levy actually pulls out the blank checkbook and say, right, we're spending 80 million on a player, 90 million on a player, 120 million on a player, that ain't going to happen. Let's be real. It's not going to happen at all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
100%.
Interesting.
I just want to read out one or two comments. Willie McKenzie, legend channel member, he says Kane's probably sick of looking at Winks and Dyer. He's more close with City English players and World Cup, 100%. Couldn't agree more. Who else? There was another couple I wanted to get up here. We have, whenever my mouse decides it'll move, here we go, just some teething problems. We have AG says there's no upside to selling Kane. We perpetuate Spurs are a selling club. Have been my whole life. We are a stepping stone. Ask Luca or Bale or Terry Sheringham, etc., etc. AG, great comment. Great comment.
Definitely.
And we have Chris Sperrin. I hope you're keeping well. Chris says, has anyone considered that Harry is doing this to force slow hand Levy to get some quality signings in? So, i.e., doing us a favour. I hope so. I hope so. There could be that element to it, but I do think
it's a bit too
probably
late.
A bit wishful thinking as well, and probably a bit too late, like Jack just said. Chris,
Daniel Levy does what he wants. Daniel Levy just as simple does what he wants. You think he's gonna force Daniel Levy's hands? Sorry, no, that ain't gonna happen. Daniel Levy will still go for the cheaper option. We'll say Harry Kane for 50 million, 150 million, whatever. but it'll still be a £10 million signing. That'll be it. And that'll be Daniel Levy's budget done.
Yeah,
we know 100%. What it's like, Dave. 100%. He's done it with the Bale money. He's done it with the Modric money. He's done it with the Carrick money. He's done it so many times. So many players. Why doesn't he expect anything different now?
Yeah, 100%. And sorry, just quickly, I don't think I thanked him, man, but thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate it.
Really generous of you.
And everyone else, keep getting them super chats in with your thoughts, opinions, or even questions for the panel. Chris, look, would you take 100 million and plus Laporte or something if City came back in with that sort of bid? Would you kind of just take that now and be done with the whole Kane saga?
That's difficult because yes, I would like Laporte, but then you look at the flip side. We still need that. We need an out-and-out striker who's going to get those 27 goals a season, and plus somebody who's going to be able to create something. So, David, it's a flip of a coin, isn't it? It's either we sell him and get Laporte in, who is a quality defender.
Yeah.
But we end up with no striker and nobody creative.
Yeah.
Or we keep Kane, who's not going to be happy, and he's not going to put 100% in. It's a flip of a coin.
Yeah. It
is.
You're right there. You're spot on there.
But see, Dave, the only positive I've taken from today is seeing head and shoulders off the Celtic. That's the only positive I've had for the whole day for Tottenham.
No more cricket to watch in the dressing room, Chris. No more seeing Kane.
No, exactly.
Dressing room, huh?
Yeah, I think that's the only positive I've seen from Tottenham the whole day, and apart from the Romero signing, looks like it's going to happen. That's the only two positives today. The whole day for Tottenham's been depressing.
Wow. Yeah, to be honest, you're right there, Chris.
Well, look, and normally, I would always crack the jokes and make sarcastic comments, but I don't think I have even got the energy to crack them anymore because
I'm with you, Chris.
There's no point. Tottenham have just made us a joke again.
I'm with you on that. And look, that's why I want to take you off Harry Kane, my man, because I can see you're not really enjoying talking about him. So look, what I do want to ask you about is Tanganga Skip. Talks about them going out on loan, and maybe look, what's your thoughts on Troy Parrott going to MK Dons just for something a bit different to answer? Is it kind of like last chance saloon for him to get that loan spell right? If not, then we have to ship him off. What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think we should ship Delhi back off to MK Dons. Maybe it might reignite them just a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Humble him, yeah.
Just humble him down a little bit. Troy Parrott, I don't know. He had his little spell where he was actually looking quite promising, but I'm not too sure on him. Skip, maybe another loan might do him a good. Tanganga, I would not ship him. I wouldn't send him on loan.
Yeah.
I would rather have him in over the moon boots. Let's be real. I'd rather have Tanganga in centre back with Romero than have moon boots there trying to head a ball when he can't even get nowhere near it. You know what I mean?
No.
Trying to jump up off the ground and he's like, the ball, where is it? Oh shit, it's over my head. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have Tanganga there, who's at least going to attempt to try to clear the ball. See, in saying that, Dave, I'd rather have Carter Vickers in than more than Moon Boots, and that says something.
Yeah, do you know what? I agree with that. I actually agree with that. I would, and that is saying something. That is saying something.
I'd rather see Carter Vickers, even though he's a terrible defender. I'd rather see Carter Vickers in week out than having Moon Boots there.
Yeah,
because it wouldn't be that depressing.
Chris, I mean that takes a lot to say that, Chris, and it takes a lot of bravery to say that as well, Chris. And so, to be honest,
Jack,
I'm with you.
Would you have Carter Vickers or Moon Boots? Come on, be real.
I don't want to be, I don't want to be playing, the favoritism, towards the countrymen. But I'm probably with you. I'm probably with you, Chris. Unfortunately,
David,
as much as I don't rate him.
Oh, I'd rather have Cameron Carter Vickers. At least then, at least I won't have to watch Moon Boots kick the balls out into the Thames every time he tries to channel he's in a Toby Alderweireld. I won't have him mocking how good Toby was at passing. At least then I won't be able to watch an Oompa Loompa 5'5" get off the ground and get up above him. Look at the size.
I mean, David, speaking of hitting into the River Thames, they've even, think of all the ball boys, the ball boys have, have even been asked to, retrieve some of them, from the water, they're not paid enough to do that, David, they have to get wet, they have to dive in, and hold each other, to make sure that they get the balls out that Dyer hits in. Dyer doesn't even, give them a bit of compensation for it. So to be honest, David, I think you're spot on there. He just needs to get out, It's like
sometimes Dyer thinks he's Superman. And he's like, do you know what? Just because I'm so good at football, let's make it a bit more challenging. I pour concretes in my boots so they can set halfway through it, just to give me that bit more of a challenge because I'm world class. He's an absolute Oh no, look, Moon Boots has to go. That's for sure. I'll be honest. I see him staying. It's going to kill me, but I want Moon Boots gone.
The thing is, what embarrasses me when you see a 5'2" nothing out jumping Moon Boots. You look at him like, what's going on? He's just been jumped by a 5'2" nothing. What's happened?
Caballero.
Come on.
Yeah, like Caballero.
Caballero again. Fulham. You know what I mean?
He's too busy thinking if he pre-recorded Coronation Street or not.
No, I think he was thinking about his last toilet trip, Dave, to be honest. Like he did against Chelsea, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, will I run off? Will I not run off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Should I stay or should I go, basically, yeah? Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Should I stay or should I go? No, I'll go. Fuck the team. I don't give a toss. I need to go to the toilet. Do you know what I mean?
I have another question for you. Is that a baseball cap or a paddy cap? I can't tell.
That's my paddy cap, mate.
Love it, Chris.
David, come on.
Come on, David.
Where'd you get that one?
Oh, Amazon, man. I had to go to Amazon to get it.
Nice. Send me the link, lad. I might order one. That's a
yeah. I have to have a look at
Amazon again. Strapping. That one's very strapping.
Yeah. But Dave, I'll tell you what, yeah. The one thing I am looking forward to, if Romero signs for us, I just enjoy watching him smack Salah about on the pitch. Just when he comes in, just a little elbow in the face and a little kick at him. You know what I mean? See the Aubameyang getting smacked in the face. That would be a perfect season for me. Watching Romero just smacking him about.
Do you know what? Honestly, Chris, I just can't wait to see him just shithouse people.
That's what I mean.
See Dyer pat people on the back. It's like, oh, sorry, mate, I didn't mean that. You know, no, you did mean it. Stamp on him while you're walking by him. You know what I mean? It's football. It's fucking
That's exactly
football.
what. That's why I can't wait to see Romero just giving him a kick up in the air.
It's not Girl Scouts, Chris. You know what I mean? I'm just.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see Romero get up, elbow people when he's going for headers.
Oh, do you know what?
Defenders won't want to come. Honestly, strikers will not want to come near him. You see the likes of the strikers. They will actually spend their time running around to try and avoid him, which would be perfect because I put them off the game. I like him a bit like what Vidic was at United that time. An absolute savage.
As Ellie said earlier, looking forward to seeing Højbjerg and Romero just smacking these players about, and they'll be like, "No, I'm not going near them. No, I'm avoiding it. No, I don't want to go near their box just in case.
Yeah,
my leg might be taken off if Romero gets hold of me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen some of his games, and Dave, I'll tell you what. If I was a striker, I'd run the opposite direction. I'm not going anywhere near him, man.
Do you know what, Chris? He's a nightmare because he'll do you in the air. He'll get to the ball before you with an interception, and you know if you do skin him and he sees that it could end up in a dangerous position, he's just going to take you out. He'll take you out of the problem, which again is what we need. I was sick of last season watching players skin 2 or 3 of our boys in the mall, running behind him with their hands up. Oh, I didn't touch him, ref. I didn't touch him. Ankle tap the fucker and take him down.
No,
exactly.
Run at you into your box like that. Just take him out. I couldn't care how you do it. And
that's why, David, I'm so looking forward to seeing him go against Salah and just taking Salah clean out of the game. Just like, you want to dive? I'll show you, give you a reason to dive. You know what I mean?
Even Chris, even the sicko, in me hopes he has a bit of that Ramos in him, where like even maybe a tug on the shoulder, even, just to let him know. I honestly, I'm that kind of defender as well, where I would honestly say, hope Romero.
Or just the little cheeky elbow when the referee's not looking, the cheeky little elbow in the face, saying, "Yeah, I'm here."
Yeah, or Pepe,
have one of them.
Pepe, there's always famous, right? Someone flops on Pepe, right? He gives them, stands on their hands, right? As the player,
the guy started Pepe, Jack. He started a brawl in a preseason friendly. Only he can do that.
Oh, definitely. Pepe's always had that in him, though. Pepe's always had that in him.
But that's what this team needs, and a lot of people have said this team has too many babies. These teams, this defense has too many babies, too many players that just think that it's okay, to just look like a cool defender, who doesn't have that, dog mentality. And it's honestly, maybe Chris, the question here is, do you think that he could have a similar impact to the defense that maybe Højbjerg had to the midfield?
Well, put it like this, Jackie. I think if Romero saw Harry Stinks putting out of a tackle, he might just go up to him and give him a slap, say, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, mate? What are you actually doing?" Do you know what I mean? You're like a slap in the face, like you don't do that. You put a tackle in, or you get off the pitch. Do you know what I mean?
You probably wanted to do it for him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Those things, yeah. He kind of
Yeah,
said,
but
"You got my way, Winksy. You got my way."
Yeah, what are you doing? Get out of my way. I'll show you how to put a tackle in. And
Yeah.
probably take the player out for 6 months, but it'll be worth it. Do you know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Well, look, Chris, I have to say, I really appreciate your time, man. You've absolutely cheered me up today. I have to say, another great guest today.
Yeah, man.
What an absolute legend, Chris. And thank you so much for giving up your time and coming on. A lot
No
of people
problem, man.
again. Absolutely loving your input.
quickly,
Well,
Chris.
David, I'm self-isolating anyway now because somebody at work got pinged, so I've had to self-isolate for 8 days. So I'm working from home, so it don't matter what time I come on now.
Okay.
Happy days. I love to hear that, Chris. But look, I have to say, it is great to see you, man. It is great to see you.
Patrice de Ferreira, Chris, Patrice de Ferreira or Northern Ireland? Who would you rather play?
Has to be the Northern Ireland team because I might actually be able to get over there and watch the game.
And you can wave at David across the hills. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just give David a little fat cap wave. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah, as you're walking into the stadium, I'm standing there giving you this sort of gesture. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you would, Dave. I'll be like, yeah, the pint against is later. Don't worry.
Nah, look, I wouldn't be paying to go and see Weeks and Dyer like you will be when you go to that game anyway. So, look,
that's just for the abuse, Dave, to give them the abuse. That's all. Wouldn't be there to support them. Just to give
David,
them
he's
abuse.
showing up to the training ground. You forgot, David. He's showing up at the training ground. Chris is,
Yeah, that would just be to abuse them, though, Jack. If they do put a shit show on again like they did last time.
Do you know what, though, Chris? I have to say, there is one comment you made that keeps making me laugh, and I think about it every once in a while. And it's like, if these players keep getting me abuse from rival fans, I'm going to turn up to the stadium and just abuse them. And I could
you're right.
Down at the front, at the side of the pitch, leaning over the barrier, giving them absolute stink. It's still
too right, Dave. What do they expect us to do if they're just going to put a total poo show on it for us and then walk off like, yeah, all right, fans? What do they expect them to happen? Say, well done for doing the total shit. So it'll be a load more abuse, and that's what they deserve.
Yeah, 100%. Well, look, Chris.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure.
Chris. It's been a pleasure.
Come on, you Spurs. In each out, Levy out. Let's go.
And Nuno we trust as well, Chris.
In Nuno we trust, man.
Big up, Chris.
Big up,
Chris.
Absolutely love Chris, guys. He's absolutely brilliant. Jack, we've 2 super chats to get here, and then we will get Marcelo on, and then it's Bob, then it's Danny. Maui from the Spurs episode says, how dumb of an agent Charlie can be. No guarantees that Oil City won't pay 150 million, and Levy no discount with 3 years left. Levy is a pit, Charlie is a pup. Well, I know Marcelo has a bit of news on that front for us. He did put it in the chat there. But Jack, what's your thoughts quickly for Maori? And then we have another super chat from Tim Man to get to, and then we'll get Marcelo on.
Yeah, Mari, I hope you're right. Honestly, I hope you're totally right. And as well, Mari, I will say, absolutely class job on Bob Spurs channel. I really enjoyed a lot of what you had to say on Bob Spurs channel. And then as well, Mari, I will say, to be honest, I really do hope that's the case where, Levy in this scenario, I would never want this to be the case, but hopefully Levy does kind of, bully, Charlie a bit and does see himself as the pit bull, as you're saying. And he kind of does see Charlie as a bit, inferior. That is the ideal scenario as much as that sucks to even say. I do hope Levy, does win this one out and does kind of bully him a bit. And as well, there are no guarantees that Oil City will pay that. So Mari, spot on. And as well, the optimism, I really do appreciate it, Mari. Really generous as well. Really generous optimism and positivity. I really appreciate it, Mari.
Mari, I appreciate you calling Charlie a pup and, calling him dumb. I really do appreciate that. He's a gooner at the end of the day, so I love that. And disrespecting City by calling him Oil City, absolutely love it. And Levy, no discount, 3 years left. Fully agree, my man. Fully agree. Mari, again, like Jack says, great time, job that time on Bobspur TV, and I really enjoyed being on with you, my man. And I appreciate the support. What a legend. Tim Man 007, would you sell Kane for 120 million plus Silva? We then buy Vlahovic, Romero, and Milinkovic. Look, Romero will be coming in regardless if we sell Kane or not. But Jack, Vlahovic, and Milinkovic, and 120 million plus Silva, would you take that?
This is the wrong guy to ask. If I'm signing 2 itches at the same time, David, I'm always going to say yes, regardless of the quality. But with Vlahovic and Milinkovic, I do think that'd be a class pair of signings. To be honest, I would be a bit concerned if Fiorentina were to sell those 2 players, considering that they practically have been their 2 best players this last season even. So you might think about it in a way that, maybe that would be a bit of an ask. But then again, they've seemingly been, a bit desperate for the cash as well. When it comes to Milinkovic, they're definitely a bit desperate, to sell him because Milinkovic wants out accordingly. So yeah, I would love to sign the both of them. In terms of the 120 million plus Silva, I guess I already said, 100 million plus Silva and Laporte, 120 million plus Silva. Do we really need Silva? I'd argue not. But at the same time, I don't in any way slight him as a footballer. I actually do think Bernardo Silva is a very good footballer. So I'd be happy to take him. He could maybe even fill in that right wing position in terms of creativity. He could fill it up as well as work rate. We kind of criticize Bale for not working hard enough on the right wing. Definitely Bernardo Silva would work hard enough. So yeah, probably I would take that. As unfortunate as it is, it sucks to say yes to this stuff though.
Yeah, Timman 007. Look, I love you. I don't like the word selling Kane in the same super chat or even the same sentence. And 120 million plus Silva, I'm going to decline. With Vlahovic, yeah, I do think we should get him. A lot of people called Kane a one-season wonder when he broke through. He proved he wasn't. And the guy came back to pre-season fit and firing, scored 7 goals and when he was back there the other day. Vlahovic did. So absolute legend. With Romero, he's coming anyway, and we should be able to afford Milinkovic even if we do get Romero because he's only worth 15 million pounds or 20 million euros. So we should be able to afford Milinkovic anyway. But great super chat, my man. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate the support, and I hope you enjoyed our answers. Everyone else, feel free to get your super chats in and help support the channel and help support the stream. We are going mammoth stream today, guys. 2.5 hours so far, and we have 3 more guests to get to, which we are going to get on now. And speaking of caged animals, when we were talking about Romero, we have our own, and it's our guy from Brazil. It's Marcelo. Look, I'm not even going to ask him on the Harry Kane situation because no doubt he wants to come on and vent and have his say. So, Marcelo, you caged animal, take it away, man. What's the situation? What you feeling on Kane?
I'm super disappointed at Harry Kane. How can the man do this to us? Forget about the thing about Levy. Let's forget about the thing about Levy, and them. He owes to us to show up to training, bro. Let's forget about this whole thing. Oh, Harry Kane doesn't win trophies at Spurs. Harry Kane doesn't. He's had many chances to win trophies at Spurs. Let's not forget this. And he has not shown up to any single one of those finals. And who backed him? Who did we back in the Carabao Cup final when he went ghost? You and I backed him still. You and I said, you know what? Look, Harry Kane, it's not his fault. We back him. He's going to come back stronger. We never slated him, bro. You know what I mean? And he had that chance. He's had a chance to win a Champions League final. And don't tell me, oh, he came back from injuries. My man R9 won a World Cup without 2 knees, bro. Without 2 knees.
Yeah.
All right? So let's stop making excuses here. He's had plenty of chances to win trophies at Spurs. But let's also not forget, this guy nobody wanted this guy. He was an Arsenal reject. He was another reject from all these other boyhood clubs. We picked him in. We cradled him. We were patient with them for loan after loan. We were one of the people that said, give him a chance. I remember the fans saying, give him a chance, give him a chance. And then this guy, we finally give him the chance. And when it's going up, we were all there with him. But when we're down, he's not with us, bro. When we're down, when he was down, we were with him. Every single step of the fucking way, bro. And when we're down, when the club first need him, just I'm not mad that he wants to leave. But when the club first needs, when we're already in this shit show, and we're already in this disaster that we're in. We need leaders on the pitch. He turns his fucking back on us. That is disgraceful. I will say it. I don't care if you don't like it. That is a snake move. That is a snake. He is supposed to be Mr. Tottenham. You call him King of the Lane. And I don't care if his brother is out there fucking whispering sweet stuff to his ears, bro. He's a grown-ass man. He's 28 years old.
Yep.
I
agree.
I'm 24. I don't let people tell me what to do, what my choices are. I make my own fucking decisions, man.
Yeah, and then
You
maybe
know.
Marcelo, just a bit further on that. What do you think of this whole brother saga where his brother is supposedly kind of whispering in his ear, maybe being, in a sense, I've kind of likened it to being the devil in his ear, kind of telling him, what he should and shouldn't do, what's best for him, what's best for the family, etc. What do you make of this? Do you think maybe Harry's a bit too old, maybe what you're saying, to be kind of listening to his brother? Or do you also maybe, have a bit of resentment towards his brother as well?
Listen, you choose the people that are around you.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
choose to
true.
surround yourself with this type of people, and he chooses to surround himself with people saying all these things to him. Listen, that's Harry Kane. He's choosing to let his brother be his manager. He's choosing to let him get to him. He surrounded himself with these people. But in my opinion, bro, that what he has done today is a snake move. I'm not so far as to call him a snake, but it is a snake move. And it's the same thing that happened with Gareth Bale. It hurt me when he did that. When he skipped the training. It really did hurt me. But with me, it hurts double with Kane. Because Gareth Bale, he came from Southampton, he was always like, we didn't bring him in like we did Kane. I mean, yeah, we brought Gareth Bale, like he became a star through us, but it wasn't like Harry Kane. Harry Kane, he's one of our own. We used to sing that he was a guy that we transformed. Like Tottenham, like we made him. Like, let's not forget this. Harry Kane is only here because we made him, and we had the patience to allow him to become what he wanted. You think Chelsea would have allowed him to stay as long as after so many failed loans? So Chelsea fucking got rid of Lukaku after he missed a penalty.
Yeah.
You think United would have done that? No. Go ahead, David.
Just on that, Marcelo. Look, last season when it was rumored that it could be Kane's last season, and that after the Gary Neville interview thing came out and stuff like that, people are saying they wouldn't begrudge Harry Kane to move because he's done all he can at Tottenham. He's a club legend. Tottenham haven't matched his ambition. If you're Harry Kane today, would you not be hurt by the reaction, considering what people were only saying a few months ago? Because a lot of people are saying as well, like, if he had any ambition, he would leave Tottenham. So do you not think he'd be a bit hurt by the reaction from fans today, considering a few months ago they were saying, if he had any ambition, he should leave Tottenham, and that, they wouldn't begrudge him if he left?
But there's a way of leaving. He hasn't even hinted in his transfer request. He hasn't. As far as we know, he hasn't really gone up to the board and have that quote unquote conversation that they're having. And also the thing is, you remember the Amazon documentary? He even said it with the Christian Eriksen situation. Is that it's not as easy as simple as just, oh, I want to leave. All right, here you go. Like he even said, you got to match the price. And said he hasn't matched the price. Daniel Levy made it very clear. Like, and I do blame Daniel Levy, for putting us in this situation. But I also don't blame him to the fact that he's sticking to his guns, where it's like, no, I want this for Harry Kane.
At least he's not, he's an a-hole, but he's not buckling over.
He's not buckling.
He's steadfast. Yeah.
Like this guy, if he does care about the club, and he does actually, care about the fans and everything like that, because it's easy. Look, I'll say this: it's easy to care about the club when things are going well. Like you can't tell me during that Pochettino era you didn't think we were going to win something big. We all thought we were going to win something big. Now, it didn't happen, but we all thought we were going to win something big. And surely Harry Kane thought he was going to win something big with Pochettino. But as soon as that didn't turn out, and as soon as Jose Mourinho fell through, because when Jose Mourinho came in, we were like, serial winner, we're going to win things. It's happening, and then it looked like we're going to win the league. It was all nice and rosy. But as soon as things turn bad, soon as it start getting a little bit really ugly, where it's looking like, ooh, we might be in big trouble here. He's done this. And that really shows, for me, that shows a difference. I mean, look at Sonny. Look at Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish, for example. Villa finished below us.
Yeah.
Villa finished below us, and he showed up to training. He used to be in the championship. Forget that. We used to be in the Champions League. We had some great moments with Harry Kane. We had some great opportunities to win trophies. Grealish never had that. And he's acting with more class than Harry Kane has throughout this whole debacle. It's absolutely, for me, it's disgraceful. You can't if you call yourself Mr. Tottenham and you're saying this and your whole image is built around as that one of our own. You can't do this to the club. You gotta be a man. You gotta face the music. I don't mind that he wants to go. It hurts seeing him go to a top 6 rival. That really stings. It annoys me, but I understand. But for me, he's going about it the wrong way. If he keeps doing this and he down tools, for me, I will lose all respect for Harry Kane. If he down tools, he is a snake. I don't care if he.
This brings me on to my next question, my man, and I just want to read out the super chat. Vendel says, "Loving your channel and your guests. Come on, you Spurs. Look, man, I really do appreciate that. Absolute legend. Everyone else, even if you're just enjoying the show, feel free to drop a super chat and show your support. Tell us you're enjoying it. If you want your comments discussed on Harry Kane leaving and stuff like that, get them in. You want questions for Marcelo, or do you agree or disagree with Marcelo? Get them in and let us know. It is hard to stop and get everybody's comments and discuss them when there's 340 people in the live stream. So, guys, keep getting your comments in. As always, I will get them up on stream. But look, Marcelo, I have one more question for you, and then I'll hand you over to Jack, because whether you know or not, Jack's actually a huge, huge fan of yours. And you give him butterflies whenever you're on the same stream, Marcelo. But look, what I will say is, what I will ask you is if City came back in now with 100 million plus Laporte, or 100 million plus Silva, or 150 million, like everyone's saying that they would take from him, would you just cut your losses and let him go now and rebuild?
Yeah. No, not for Silva. I don't want Bernardo Silva. But for 120 in Laporte, that would be my favorite. Like, in terms of deal, I would take the 120 plus Laporte. I think Laporte is an excellent center back. The fact that City don't even play him is kind of insane. I mean, you really think about it. He was one of the reasons why City won.
He was their best
two
defender.
Premier League. Yeah, he was their Ruben Diaz before, and it's crazy. So if we can get a player like that, left-footed, Premier League winner, Champions League experience, we can be back in the top 4, baby. We can be really challenging. And listen, life goes on without Kane. And I said this without, about Bale. At first I was like, oh my God, how are we gonna do this? But life goes on, and if we use that 120 million, like, this is what worries me, is that we used 120 million plus Laporte wrong. But if we use that 120 million, we don't have to buy a guy that just completely replaces Harry Kane.
Yeah,
we can get 3 players that can do the job. If we can get, for example, I heard Raul Jimenez. I think he's a great Premier League striker. Wouldn't be my first choice. Vlahovic is a good striker. I think Lautaro. I think, if we can get a striker that can maybe guarantee 15 Premier League goals, then get a right winger, or, a creative midfielder that can guarantee maybe 8-10 Premier League goals, maybe like around 8 assists, somewhere around that line. Or, if we can get just a couple players that can, pitch in on the goals, plus we still have Son, which is almost a guaranteed, 15, 18 Premier League goals. We can be cooking again. And I'll say this, I'd rather have a squad than a 2-man army. Because when we saw,
army sucked.
Because you remember last season when Son and Kane had a bad game, and we said it, David, every time Son and Kane had a bad game, we were screwed. If we have an actual squad where, we have, we've got to remember, Chelsea, they won a Champions League, and I don't think any of their players had any more than 15 goals the whole season.
Yeah.
In all competitions. It's all about
they had players that all contributed to it.
All contributed. That's what makes a good team. It's not like having just 2 men. Like, I can't remember one Premier League team that won the Premier League with just 2 men, or won a trophy with 2 men. I mean, look at Leicester. They won a trophy with a team. We need a team first. So selling Kane, it wouldn't be the end all. It's just about getting the proper people in. I like the look of Demsgaard. I like Pereira. Mateus Pereira. I'm a big fan of him. And he wants to leave West Brom. We can get him for cheap. And he scored 12 Premier League, I think 12, 14 Premier League goals, and had 6 Premier League assists. That's massive. We can get him. We can get maybe a Lautaro. We can get maybe also like I don't know, like a AOR, who's around there. like that's already like 30 goals plus assists, around there. So we can still be a squad without Harry Kane. We can still be a squad without Sonny. Like, do I hate seeing them leave? Yes. My preferred option, David, you and I always talked about it. Keep Son and Kane, build around them. We've always talked about this around the season. But you can't keep a player that doesn't want to stay. I don't care.
I also like Marcelo, you're kind of, there's never been a two-man team. There's never been a successful two-man team. Even last season, despite how ridiculous the numbers were for Sonny and for Kane last season, you really think about it, it still was a horrible season to watch, despite them, how much they were balling out, despite how ridiculous they were, despite them practically being the two best players in the Premier League last season statistically. It wasn't that enjoyable, to really watch, obviously. And so I think that's actually an interesting insight that maybe we haven't really thought about it that way. But maybe, Marcella, just to brighten maybe your mood or my mood maybe here, do you maybe think with the signing potentially a Christian Romero, someone that also apparently wants to sign for Spurs, he wants to sign for Spurs, Marcelo, compared to someone like Jules Koundé, who's, Jules Koundé didn't want to sign.
He can't even ride a roller coaster. He can't even get a roller coaster ride. Forget Koundé. All right. Let's. It's about Romero, baby. It's Romero time. You know what I mean? He's got that South American blood.
I love that. I love that. And do you think then with that South American blood and maybe with that, a bit of that, I don't know, kind of a professional kind of like no nonsense attitude that's common with the Argentinians, do you think that he'll have a similar impact to the defense that maybe Højbjerg had to the midfield? Højbjerg had that insane midback to the midfield. What do you think about Romero on the defense?
Absolutely. I mean, he is miles, and I mean miles better than any of the defense that we have. And that's why I would take the 120 Kane deal plus Laporte. If we have Romero, Laporte, we're back cooking, baby. Plus, I don't know much about Tomiyasu. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, oh, I think he's the next, coming of Christ. No, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I don't know much about him. I'm just gonna be honest. I'll give him a chance. I hope he's better than Aurier, but
he's gonna be like a Soufal, maybe. I actually think he could be like a Vladimir Soufal for us.
And hopefully, but also people are sleeping on Reguilon. Reguilon, I know he had a poor end of the season, but he had a great start of the season. When the defense was clicking and everything, he had a great start. Then he had that bad injury. Then he went on a kind of a on and off form, and then he had a really terrible form. So with Reguilon, I still think there's potential of a great player there. We've seen some really good highlights from him of what a great player he can be, and I think maybe with a 3 in the back, or maybe 2, maybe a more attacking freedom, he can be some. He can only get better. He's still young. He can only get better. He can only adjust to the Premier League. I think Reguilon is still another guy, and Cesc coming in, that's gonna build even more of a fire on him. On both of those players. So that's only good. And I think, there's a lot of positives, guys. I know, the whole Harry Kane situation got us, all scared. And I know 10 men sent that super chat, can we get anybody? And yes, we can. Yes, we can. We got people after we sold Bale. We got people after we sold Berbatov. We got people after we sold Robbie Keane. We can always get people. It's all about being smart about it, having a project and having a vision, and being able to pay for the cash. That's it. That's it. If you go up to right now and you go to Raul Jimenez and you're like, or Lautaro, and you're like, we got this project, come with us. We're bringing in this player as well. We're building a squad. This is the objective. Here's your wage. We're gonna pay you more wages than Inter's paying you. Come to us. He'll come. I'm telling you, he'll come. Romero is coming, despite having a Champions League club. For peace sakes, they I don't know. It's like that movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, it will come. If you build it, it will come. You just have to have the vision and you have to present it.
Yeah,
I like that, Marcelo.
I agree. Look, just before we let you go, Marcelo, I have 2 super chats here. Jason Grove says it is not that he wants to go; it is the way he seems to be going about it. Yeah, look, Jason, I couldn't agree more, my man. It is not the fact that he wants to go. It is how about he's going about. I couldn't agree more, my man. It's just raging. Jason Groves absolutely loved the accent and the voice. Absolute legend. Absolute legend, so you are, Jason. I love hearing you when you're on Will's channel, my man. So big yourself up, and I hope things are good with you over there in Canada, lad. And I appreciate the super chat. And look, I look forward to speaking to you over the course of the season, lad. You know, me, you, and Marcelo, we used to have a ball on there, you know, at night time, have a good laugh. Big up, Jason. And then this one's for you, Marcelo. Gaguma says, I don't think Kane is a snake, but Marcelo, you are great. Always love your passion.
I don't think he's a snake either. I'm just saying it's a move that a snake would do.
If it's true, obviously. But like, let's be real here. Fabrizio has said it. Alistair Gold has said it. It's most likely 99% true. Like, let's be real here. You know, I know we want to create this fantasy. I certainly did it with Bale. I was like, no, of course he wouldn't do that to us. You know, listen, players do that. For me, it just hurts more that this guy is supposed to be Mr. Tottenham, one of our own, king of the lane, all of this. You know, we give him these titles, and he goes on and does that. But, you know, look, I just wish he'd just be a man upfront about it. Just talk about it with the club. You know, get City to just, you know, fess up, sell up, and you know, ship him on his way. On his way. And then, you know, get the right players in. You know, the longer he keeps this up, the longer it goes, the worse it's going to be for both sides. Yeah. Because, you know, Harry Kane, if he keeps doing this pissy fit, Levy is going to sit on his heel, not going to sell him. So then he's going to, you know, how awkward is that going to be? You know, the summer window's closed and he's stuck with us, you know, and he doesn't want to play. And then it's just this whole piss fit until January. You know, that would be awkward. And if, you know, Tottenham, you know, we need, if we sell Kane, we're going to need time to replace him. So I feel like him doing this, it just hurts both sides. It benefits nobody. I agree with you.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
And then also Gaguma, I will say, you know, always love your passion as well, especially.
Love you, Gaguma.
You've honestly been on so many channels. You're honestly always there supporting us, as well as plenty of other channels as well. So honestly, Gaguma, we love your passion as well. Marcelo, who would you rather be playing in the prestigious Europa Conference League with Paços de Ferreira of Portugal, or, you know, maybe the Northern Ireland team of Larne?
Honestly, I don't know either of those teams.
Whoever.
Yeah, I mean, look, Portugal league tends to be a little bit better than the Irish league.
Do you think they're the favorite? Maybe, obviously.
Oh, this isn't even the Irish league. This is Northern Irish league. It's even worse.
So yeah, I'm gonna say I hope there's an upset. Northern Ireland wins, and look, I'm not gonna scoff in any of these competition. I'm seeing a lot of Spurs fans. No, I'm seeing a lot of Spurs fans scoff at the competition, saying, "Oh, this team, you know, they don't belong with us." Gotta remember, we got humbled by Zagreb while their, you know, manager was in prison. I'm not looking down on any of these. There's a reason. Listen, there's a reason why we're in this tournament, lads. You gotta remember, there's a reason why we're in this tournament. It's because we're not good enough to be in the other ones.
It's still not going to stop me from being arrogant, though, Marcelo. I'll be honest with you.
No, it's not gonna. Yeah, you know how I am too, David. Before the game, you and I are gonna, you know, talk shit. We're gonna, you know, slam the team. You know, we're gonna do our thing. But listen, I always try to stay, you know, a little bit humble. You know, like there's a reason why we're in this competition, because we're not good enough to be in the Europa League. We're not good enough to be in the Champions League. But let's hope with Romero. I think, you know, that's almost a done deal. I'm positive about it. I think we can get Romero if we can, you know, sort out this whole Harry Kane mess. If we can keep Kane, perfect, you know, and he doesn't down to perfect. But you know, get another. We need another center back, yeah, and we need another right back, because what is going on with this Aurier situation? You know, there's no way we can have those two, Aurier and Doherty, you know, Dumb and Dumber at right back. You know, we need to get. You know, we need to get some new right backs in this team. So we got a lot of still coming forward. You know, we still got a lot of things to do. But I'm still hopeful.
Yeah.
And you know, always start out the season positive. If you don't start off the season positive, what's the fucking point? Don't watch it.
Even Marcel, I'll go further. I start off delusional. You know, I started off even delusional, and then maybe a couple of games in, you know, I bring myself back to reality. But, you know, the first couple of games of this season, you have to start off delusional.
And you know what, Jackie boy, you can never be sorry for being delusional for your club.
No.
I will never apologize to anybody when I said that we're gonna win the league with Jose Mourinho. I will never apologize for that. You know, I don't care how many people.
Neither would I. Neither would I. We shouldn't have to. You know, it's our club at the end of the day, and we can be delusional if we want. Marcelo, I have to say, I love the optimism. I love the positivity, man. And I can't wait to have you back around for the season, man.
I love you too, David, and I love you, Jack. Thank you for having me. And on and upwards, let's get this shit out. You know, let's get some new players in. And come on, you Spurs, let's go.
And Nuno we trust.
And Nuno we trust.
To get on, man. I really appreciate it.
Levy out.
Thanks for waiting, man.
Levy out.
Thank you.
I'll see you again now. We'll get another frenemies on the go for everybody.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Good night, Marcelo.
By the way, just in case Marcelo is still watching, Wesley actually came in the comments earlier on and said you win that debate like 6 months later because Harry Kane, what you said now, so big up. Big up to Boomer and Jason Groves for the super chats. Really, really do appreciate it. Make sure everyone keeps getting their support in. It really does really help the channel grow. I just want to welcome back this man here, John Cooper from Mexico. It's good to see him back. I seen him back in the studio earlier on with the Weird Tottenham TV boys. Hope to see that show with you and Sim back again. And of course, you do need a flat cap, John. Things have changed since you left. I'm now the general, John. So you're gonna have to come back with your A game, my man. Really, absolute love it. Really appreciate it, John. And good to see you back, my man. It's good to see you back. And Marcelo saying he's king of the lane. He's not. Harry Kane is. But look, guys, last guest, and we will make this the last guest because I have a couple of things I need to do before I head off somewhere in the morning. And I want to bring him on. And it's Bob Spur, my man. How are you keeping?
Pick up, Bobby.
You're on mute now.
You're mudded.
Bit like we all hope Charlie Kane was all day. So, sorry about that.
No, I absolutely love it. Love it, Bob. But look, Bob, what's your thoughts on the Harry Kane situation? Is it, until he holds the shirt sort of situation, or look, what's your thoughts on it?
I think when it comes to Kane, Levy has let him down completely. He's not matched his ambition. We've not got to the next level. And to be fair, Kane's has been hanging around in hope that we do kick on. The Grealishes, the Brunos, the Skriniars, the Dybalas have all been linked and gone. And even this season, I know Paratici needs time to, and this stuff against Paratici, but even now he could be frustrated like the majority of us. At the moment we've only bought a backup goalkeeper and a 20-year-old that he probably had to do a Danny Rose on. So it is because of Levy. He's in this position. We're in this position. Having said that, he's put on a bit of a shit show today, and I totally he's totally at fault for being coming across as a bit of a twat. The thing is, one card we all said, we accept he wants to move on. We accept, we understand he wants to go somewhere and win trophies.
We accept we failed him.
And he'll go with our blessing. But what it is, Jack. One thing we always followed it up with, mate, is if he stays, at least he'll give us his 100%. At least he'll be professional. At least he'll give us it his all because he's Tottenham through and through. And we can't say that anymore, unfortunately. He hasn't destroyed his legacy. Of course he hasn't, but he's tainted it. By doing what he did today, he's tainted it. And when everyone has a bad game, when he has his next bad game for Tottenham, I do believe he'll stay. When he has all the fingers that have risen today will be pointing at him all of a sudden because, look at him. He doesn't care anymore. He doesn't. Remember the start of the season when he turned up for training.
Well, these are the same people. These are the same people that under Jose Mourinho, because they didn't like Jose Mourinho, was saying if Kane had any ambition, he'd leave Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly. But we always said there's ways that I've got no issues with him going, mate. I believe he should go. It's the way he's going about it. He shouldn't have done what he's done today. And I still stand by the fact that he should have put out some form of statement this morning. Even if it was a nothing statement. Even if it was just a case of, we're in discussion about our future or whatever. Because, people saying, no, we don't, the statement won't have helped. By not turning up, he's made a statement. A wrong statement, But we're all now guessing what's the truth. We don't know why he's not turned up. It could be something completely innocent. But why put himself in that position? Why put us in that position where we're allowed to point the finger and make up our own judgments? And if it is something innocent, come out with it. The shit show has been created by the Canes this morning. I don't blame him for wanting to leave, and I don't blame him to win trophies. Sorry, I just burped down the microphone. But the reason why we're here is because of Levy and Enoch, and we should be able to separate the two. Still Levy out, Enoch out. In fact, it's even strengthened today. But the situation with regards to Day and Kane is poor, mate. In my eyes, it's been absolutely poor. He could have turned up at training today, Dave, and done fuck all, and just sit there with Levy or whatever, or even with Charlie Kane and discussed it all and man up and have a proper adult conversation. The way he's come across today.
Do you know what my gripe is, though, Bob? I fully get what you're saying, but my gripe is some of these people calling him a snake and saying it's wrong are the very same people last season that were sitting there basically saying if he had any ambition, he would leave and he'd do what it takes to leave Tottenham.
I stand by that. But don't go about it by not turning up for fucking training. What did he gain out? I bet you any money, Dave, he's sat at home doing this. I shouldn't have done that today. I bet you any money there is absolutely nothing wrong. And I still believe if he's got ambition, if we don't match his ambition this season, because so far, let's be honest, the transfers haven't reflected any form of ambition or intent. So I don't blame him. I do not blame him. I just think the way he went about, and my anger is more at some of the fan base. And you know what some of the fan base were fickle. You know, today there was an uproar. Oh my God, these fucking surprise, newsflash. Fans are fickle. You know, I've got one of my best mates is a Man City fan. He doesn't rate Pep. He wants Pep sack after every time they get knocked out of Champions League. But you know what? Following week, it's the way it is. Newsflash, fans are fickle. But what he shouldn't have done today is go about it. I totally understand. And if he wants to go, he'll go with my blessing. But what today has done is given the chance for some of the fans later on in the season, because I do believe he'll stay later on in the season when he has, even if he gives 100%, Dave, and he fails to score or has a bad game, because he will. We all know that. That finger will come out and say, "Oh yeah, he doesn't give a shit about Tottenham anyway. He's a gooner. He's all this crap that's coming out."
I'll be honest, I just call them an absolute fucking idiot, to be honest with you, and that they don't know what they're talking about. Like, look, it's stupid. Look,
but he's given the chance, isn't it, mate? That's the thing.
I'll tell you where I'm coming from on this, Bob. It's the first kind of foot he's ever put wrong over his whole career at Tottenham. It's the first foot he's ever put wrong. And what really irks me is people make excuses for Winks, Sanchez, Dele Alli, Bergwijn, players like this all the time. You know, oh, well, if he done this or if he done that, you know, this, that, and the other. And then they're quick to turn around and call our best player, probably our best striker since Jimmy Greaves. You know what I mean? A snake, this, that, and the other, and absolutely light off.
It's not a snake.
You know, for it. But then they still sit there and make excuses for the likes of Winks, Sanchez. Kane has done more for this badge than what all of them have done put together.
Agreed.
People want to have a pop at this guy. Look, I get it. Turning up for training is not. It's not right. It's not something that should be encouraged.
Exactly.
But it's the first thing he's ever done wrong at Tottenham, and to get as strongly as criticised as he has today, I don't agree with it. Why don't they come out with the same energy and say the same about Harry Winks? You're a snake for not putting in them that challenge.
Or Levy and Enoch.
You know, direct your anger at Levy or Enoch. Why don't you turn around and say Sanchez, oh, you're a snake for eating grass against City when you should have headed that ball? They make all these excuses for these players. Like, you know, people say, oh, well, Sanchez, the sun was in his eye, he couldn't see it. You know what I mean? All this sort of bullshit. And then they want to have a pop at one of our greatest strikers to ever grace that jersey, Harry Kane, number 10, King of the Lane. I just don't understand that. I think it's absolutely ridiculous when you see them backing up the likes of Ben Davies, who's been here for 8 years and never nailed down the starting left-back spot. And they want to have a pop at fucking Harry Kane. Give me a break. It's a joke.
Well said, both of you.
That's what I'm saying. What today's done is given them a chance. That's my thinking. That's my... Fans are fickle.
I get he's giving them a chance, but what I'm saying is Ben Davies, Harry Winks and Sanchez and all them give them a chance nearly every time they play, and people still defend them. You know what I mean? But Harry Kane does one thing and they want to have a pop. It's a joke.
No, but I'll fight double advocate. It's not a small thing, is it, Dave? Turning up for your Tottenham, knowing full well that Harry Kane's not stupid. He would have known and all this bullshit about, Charlie woke up in the morning saying, don't go to training today. And Kane went, all right, brother, I won't go. It was a load of bullshit. It's a 28-year-old man. He knows what's right and what's wrong. And I bet you he's regretting today. But what I'm pissed off about, for the guy he is, for the legendary status that he's built up, rightly so, all this bullshit about not turning up in finals and saying he's not good enough. Oh, what are you going to do? Sell all 11 players every time we lost a final? That doesn't sit with me, right? How about the other 10 players who didn't turn up? But what today has done is given the chance of these fickle fans, and I'll be honest with you, not every fan has always defended the Sanchez. They're just as anti-Sanchez and Davis as they are now for today's action. Anti-Kane. He's not gone down any. It's not like he's not a legend anymore. He goes tomorrow, he'll still be a legend within Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Today was a poor show, and I think the biggest thing, mate, is surprise, because we all said, regardless of what it is, he'll still be professional and he'll still give Tottenham 100%. And unfortunately, by doing what he did today, he's kind of lost a bit of that. It was more of a surprise than a shock, the fact he went down that route.
Bob, I think you're being I will say, I think you're being an interesting devil's advocate there. And honestly, I kind of agree with you with some of the devil's advocate opinions that you kind of given there. It's a brave stance to take there. Obviously, it's not entirely your own stance even on it, but I kind of agree with a lot of it, of even what you just said. And honestly, I appreciate you for kind of taking that devil's advocate stance.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go on.
No. I was just going to say, it just pisses me off, because I think Kane is one of the best. It will go down as one of the best, but his actions have allowed some fan base, and we can't even argue it, Dave. I know you're going to sit here, and I can sit here till we're blue in the face. Look what he's done. Look at what they'll see. What some fan bases will see is look what he's doing. What he's doing right now, and what the fact is, he didn't turn up for his own football club today because he's thrown the Troyes out of the pram. Rightly so, by the way, because Levy's constantly continuous letting him down. I just think there could have been a different way. There should have been a different way of going about it. And if not, make some clarifications within the media, because by not turning up, mate, he's given everyone a chance to make up bullshit or right or wrong, or we don't know, hearsay excuses and reasoning for him to get vilified. So I can't sit here and say, you fans are all fucking wrong, because at this time of moment, his actions today, we can't defend it. There's no way of defending it apart from looking back and seeing what he's done. That's all irrelevant. You know what today has actually put at the forefront, everyone's forefront, is what he's done today. And unfortunately, some fan base won't give a shit what he's done previously. But again, it shouldn't be Kane out. Kane shouldn't be getting the shit. The reason why we're here, and he's been put in that position to make a shit decision, is because of Levy and ENIC. And people seem to have clouded quite a few judgments today. I don't see Levy and ENIC getting that much shit today, which is unfortunate.
No, and what it should be is that, look, Levy and ENIC haven't provided the players to play at Kane's level. They haven't provided 100%. The players to keep us as a Champions League team. Haven't provided the players to keep us in the top four in the league. Look, with Harry Kane leaving, if he doesn't see a clear pathway, he doesn't see, himself being at Tottenham, he doesn't want to go through another 5-year rebuild, another 5-year project.
Longer.
I'll be honest with you, as much as it guts me to say this, but do you blame him? I don't. I do. No, I think it could have gone the right way. I don't blame him for leaving, mate. I'm 100%. I'm 100% behind him for leaving and moving on and going to Man City. I just totally disagree with his actions today. That's all. His stance of going, leaving, whatever, I totally agree with. I 100% agree with you with regards to Levy letting go. It's all Levy in, Levy out, and ENIC's fault, 100%. But I just feel personally, he kind of it was a bit of a shit show from him this morning.
But you're even saying, Bob, even if he does leave, he's still not a snake. He still deserves the legendary status that he does. But you're saying is that today, the actions that he's taken today, there's no other way of going about it. And I actually agree with you. There's no other way of interpreting it, and that will be tarnished. That will taint or tarnish his
Because one thing we always said, all three of us,
but he'll still be a legend. He'll still be a legend.
Exactly,
but it hurts
exactly. One thing all three of us said, you know, if Harry Kane was to go or stay, despite everyone knowing that he's wanted to go, although he's officially not said it, we always sat here and said, you know what, he'll give us 100%. Regardless, if he stayed, he's still Tottenham through and through, and he'll give us 100% and always give us all. And he probably will. I'll pretty much guarantee he will, because that's all player will. But unfortunately, some fan base out there, if he goes 2 games without scoring a goal, or has a bit of an iffy game, that it will always come back to this. So be prepared. If he stays, unfortunately, there will be pain. You can't stop it. We can't stop it, Dave. We can't stop. We can't stop it. Sorry?
I said we can't stop it, but one thing I will do is stop it, because I'll be honest with you.
I will. I have all day. I've said it all day. Enoch out, Levy out. But what Kane's done today is wrong. But he'll stay. I still believe. Call it delusional, but I still believe he'll stay. And all this, and I said, once he scores a couple of goals, he starts banging the goals. No one's going to give a shit, mate. What he's done today.
Do you know what? I do think he will stay. Personally, I still think he'll stay.
Yeah.
My thing on it is I'm not 100% calling his professionalism into account yet, because look, he could still he might even not turn up this week, but he could turn up next week. He could end up having an absolute banger of a season for us. And then what fans are going to say then? They're just going to look stupid. Look, for me with the Harry Kane situation, I get it. It's wrong not turning up for training. But like I said, it's the first bit of misdemeanor he's done since he's arrived at Tottenham. And this is why I don't get the backlash he's getting. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But like at the end of the day, if he look, I know he signed his contract 3 years ago under Pochettino, right? He wasn't expecting Pochettino to get sacked. He gave Mourinho a chance. And Daniel Levy knew it was his last chance that he was going to give Tottenham under Mourinho. You know, look, if I can sit here, I'm not even a coach. I'm not a manager. I don't own a football club, and I could tell people, you know, back then that there's like, you know, if you sack Mourinho, does the likes of, I've said it, Toby, Lloris, Son, Kane, are they all going to stay around? Never going to happen. It was never going to happen. They're not all going to stay. And the thing is, he signed his contract 3 years ago, and he's kind of at the point now where, like, yeah, okay, I get it. A gentleman's agreement with Levy is nothing, but like, he was misled into signing the contract. Then, if the gentleman's agreement was signing the contract, you know what I mean, and maybe, you know, a couple of years, if things don't work out, we will let you go. We just want to ensure we get a fee. So, like, if Daniel Levy has lied to him and has done that and kind of gone against the terms of why he signed the contract, you know, then if I was Kane, I'd probably do the same thing too, to be honest with you. Would you let your employer away with something if they had an agreement with you and didn't follow through on it? I wouldn't.
No, mate. What would happen is I still come in and make a grievance heard. I'll probably get sacked. If I didn't turn up for work just because I had an issue with the boss, I'd get sacked.
No,
the way I look at it,
it's an issue. It's an issue with them promising you something and not delivering. I wouldn't turn up for work. They would, you know, they wouldn't have a leg to stand on. You promised.
As a football, I disagree with that. It's a difference of opinion. I think today he should have just come in. I agree with 100% everything you said prior to that. The promises, the failed promises, the gentleman's agreement. Although you can't use the word gentleman and leave you in the same sentence.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I just think, in my opinion, he should have turned up today, mate, because we wouldn't be sitting there and talking about all this. We wouldn't have had all day for a circus happening over and over again. What would have been easier for him to come into training, sit there, discuss it man to man, and Spurs putting out a statement tomorrow saying we've decided Harry Kane has decided to blah, 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 blah. That would have been so much easier, and it would have saved, you know what, yeah, fair enough, he's happy to go. And we're still happy for him to go. I just think his actions today have caused a circus when there was absolutely no need. All he had to do was drive 4.5 miles from his own, turn up from training, and be a bit. Because he's made a statement, hasn't he? He's made a statement. He's basically made a statement today without making an official statement. See you later. And I just think.
Look, let's be honest. He made that statement a long time ago when he done that interview with Gary Neville.
Yeah, he should have made an official statement today. No, he didn't officially come out and say, "Oh, I'm definitely wanting 100." But today, what he's done.
But let's be honest. When you've seen that interview,
reading beyond
when we all seen that interview, correct me if I'm wrong, but every single one of us in the YouTube community sat there and streamed on it, saying it does look like, you know, that he's making his sounds to move. Every single one of us said that.
I still stand by. Yeah. I still stand by. They should have turned up today. I still stand by.
I believe
they
you.
should
Bob,
have turned
I'm
up
with
today
you. I
because
think you should
all
stand,
this would have been prevented, mate. All this would have been prevented. And I hate seeing the fact that people
saving his legacy.
Kane's actions has allowed some of the Spurs fan base to point his finger at him. And you know what? It's today for the first time. It's probably made it hard for us to defend him because, unfortunately, in my eyes, it's been a shit show. Go without welcome. You deserve to go to Man City. You deserve to win all the trophies, 100%. And you have been let down. It's Levy out, Enoch out, even more today. But with his actions,
here's another one, Bob. Here's another one. Do you think we can say he deserves to go on Man City and he deserves to win the trophies and then not force his move to get it? Like, do you not think as well? For me, like that's a bit. Just me personally, I think that's a bit double standard. We can't sit here and say, "Oh, he deserves to go to City and he deserves to win trophies," and then give out about it when he's trying to force that move.
No, I tell you, I don't know. I don't see any sort of hypocrisy in that. Because he could have turned up for training today and bypass all this and still move to Man City. The issue today is just one action: him not turning up to training,
his image,
and that sent out the whole shit show that we've all been doing all day via Twitter, via group chat, via here. Not this is a shit show, but you know what I mean. Via Cheese Room, whatever we've been on, it's continued. The circus has continued all day. So no, I don't think there's anything. I still believe that.
I do. I don't think you can sit there and say he deserves his move to City and he deserves to win trophies at City, and then sit there and give out about him trying to force his move through when Daniel Levy.
He shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to because everything that we've built up, he can force a move. He can force a move by going in and speaking to Levy face to face. He's caused a circus today by not turning up for training, and that's a fact.
Well, how do we know?
We don't know. We don't know. But the fact is, he's turned up. He's not turned up. We don't know anything, and he's allowed the whole fan base to turn it. Well, some of the fan base to turn against him, which is a complete shit show. He should have been more thorough about everything. He should have turned up today, in my opinion. It doesn't change the fact that he deserves to go and think. But all this thing about. He needs to force a move. He can force a move by fucking turning up for training today, Dave. Come on, man. You know that.
I'm with you, actually. To be honest as well, like, I don't really think he still deserves any of the snake commentary, any of the snake slander, but I'm with you. I think he could have gone about it a much better way. You know,
for his sake,
like David has said, but this connects to what David has said. David has said he hasn't ever put a foot wrong. But that still needs to be said, that this has been the moment, though, where he put the foot, like Bob was saying, he put it in a very wrong place. He did actually step very wrong in this scenario. And I do think that needs to be said. As much as, you know, we kind of feel like we are criticizing a perfect person here, he did step very poorly here. Whether it was his brother that told him to do that, whether it was him that, you know, made that decision, it's hard to know. But I'm actually with Bob here in that he could have gone about it a different way. And had he gone about it a different way, we would be discussing his move to City a whole lot differently.
But take this into account. Take this into account, lads. If he's had a gentleman agreement and it's been broken, how can he do it any other way? Think about this.
But then this is the thing, though, David. The gentleman's agreement. I made the joke, though, David. The gentleman's agreement.
The reason why he's probably done today is because the gentleman's agreement has been broken. That's why he was forced to play in his hand today.
I agree. It probably has happened, but be man about it. Fucking turn up, speak to Levy face to face rather than I'm not going in today because I'm being. Mate, we still don't know. There might have been a reason. He's probably stayed home because he's been asked to stay home. We just don't know. The fact is, he's put everyone in the position to hold the fingers and for this debate to happen and for the fan base to point the finger at him. The fact doesn't change that he does need to go. Of course, he is entitled to go. We don't blame him to one. But the action is the fact he didn't turn up. I agree with you. There may have been a breakdown in a gentleman's agreement. But fucking hell, turn up and be a man about it and speak to Levy about it or clarify some form of a reason why you haven't turned up. You know, later on in the day, there was, COVID. Oh, no. It's because he was told, oh, no, he's not due back anyway. Always guessing and it's just carrying on. We've had complete bullshit reasoning of this player link, that player link, this, and it's now carried on to Harry Kane. First we had it with the managers. It's just completely bullshit. I thought we were a big club. I'm clearly wrong.
Yeah. To be
Yeah.
honest, but Bob, I mean, I'm with you here. I'm with you. I think he still could have gone about it a different way. I think he could have saved, as we might say, save face, right? You know, save reputation. There's as much as he still will be a legend at the end of the day, as much he is practically the next best player we've had up front since Jimmy Greaves. he still could have gone about it a better way. And there's, and as much as we're criticizing maybe a perfect person, I think it still needs to be said. So I'm kind of with you here. But Bobby, what are your thoughts maybe then? If Kane is so adamant to leave, would you then maybe accept that £100 million offer originally that City gave?
Well, we need to accept a lot more. I mean, the 150 mark, the 160 mark might whet the appetite. But the thing is, even now, if there's one thing I want to see from Levy now, and I don't ask for much from Levy, I think it's a foregone conclusion that we want Levy out. But I want to see the avatar of what was when we had Modric. He held on to Modric for one more year. I don't agree with the whole foregone conclusion that if Harry Kane stays, he's only going to stay for one season, because I believe if Harry Kane stays and we get the right personnel in, and Paratici does turn into a Don Paratici, and we get the players that we link within, we could have a really successful season. And if we finish top 4 and win a trophy, I'm delusional. I think we'll challenge for top 4 if Harry Kane stays. We get the right players in. Then there's no reason for him to leave at the end. If Harry Kane stays this season and we bring the right personnel in, we'll be some form of a success of a team. But Levy and Enoch need to get their big boys pants on now. There's no point in getting a Romero in, and with all due respect, lovely player is bringing a Connor Cody. I don't understand that logic. Connor Cody, great player, or a Ward-Prowse, fantastic Premier League players. But if we're bringing a Romero in, for me, who is a statement sign, a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's only 50 million or whatever." No. For Tottenham Hotspur, that's a statement signing. That's a player who is a sit up and take notice signing. We need to go for the big players. We need to go for the Calvert-Lewins. In my eyes, we're bigger than Everton. Fuck it, let's go there. We need to. Sorry,
unless you put balls into the box for him, he's no use.
Yeah, but him being a good player or not is a difference of opinion. But I'm saying we need to go for proven players. Go for a 50 million player. I can't say his name, the Fiorentina guy. One good season, but he's got a bit of value behind him. There's players out there who we need to start aiming for if we want to go, and that in a way will show Kane that we mean a bit of business. With all due respect, Paratici working, etc., whatever, a second choice goalkeeper and a 20-year-old that we've not heard of isn't going to whet Kane's appetite and say, "Oh, okay, maybe the things are changing." We need to do more in the transfer market, and this is, I agree with Kane. Again, it goes back to agree. I just didn't agree with what he did today.
I'm with you there, Bobby. I'm with you there. David, any other questions maybe then for Bobby? I feel like he's honestly, he's given a good case there for Kane, and I'm honestly in a way, and kind of in agreement with him about how Kane could have gone about it a different way. Any other thoughts there, Danny? Or sorry, David?
No, just my disagreement to it, because the reason why I say is we don't know, Kane doesn't actually have to physically go into the Tottenham training ground to have a meeting with Daniel
Maybe
Levy.
so.
We could do it over the phone. We have to take that into account. There's emails, there's StreamYard, there's Zoom. Could have done that today. Let's be honest. And the thing is, if he's been promised something and the agreement's been broken, most of the fans last season would have applauded him for doing this. So I've heard so many fans sit there and say, if he had any ambition, he wouldn't be at Tottenham. He'd force through a move. He's doing it now. They don't like it. Well, then don't sit there and say it. That's my opinion on it. But with Harry Kane, look, we can sit here and say he hasn't turned up to the training ground, or he could have turned up and had a meeting. But you could have easily just had it over a phone or over Zoom or something like that. So we don't
clarify
know.
Don't you think we as fans deserve a bit of clarity? We could sit here as well, not know, saying all the fan base and us lot can sit here as the not knowing, we don't know, and all this. But don't you think, as if Kane is that much of a Spurs boy, and I totally agree, and he's Spurs through and through, and he's done all this for us, don't you think you might have thought, my fan base, the people who trust me, who call me King of the Lane, maybe I should just put something out there via Sky Sports or whoever, fucking social media, whatever, to say that a reason I've not turned up for training, or Harry Kane hasn't turned up for training today. I'm sure if Sky Sports reported it, we've heard from great sources that Kane actually wasn't even due at training today. We would have gone, oh right, fucking hell, there you go. I think we deserve that. The fact he didn't turn up and there was bullshit, all nothing from him officially, or any of the Kane party, or even Spurs, and the fact the fan base have been allowed to sit here, rightfully so, I'd say, to point the finger at Harry Kane and say, you dickhead, why didn't you turn up for training today? As unfortunate that it is, it just says it's a bit of a shame. He could have gone the right way about it today, and it could be all innocent. I agree with you, Dave. We don't know, mate. He could have been doing it all at home. I just think that all this could have been prevented if he was managed a bit better. And mate, Charlie Kane, don't get me started.
No, look, I fully get where you're coming from and everything else, but look, like I keep saying, like we don't know. I could have had his meeting today. If you promise something that hasn't been delivered on, but then like and there has been meetings taken behind the scenes and stuff like that. Look, I get it. Not turning up for training is wrong, but at the same time, like people are saying, "Oh, why hasn't he come out and clarified it?" We know what Harry Kane's like. He's not going to come out and do it. We know that. So I don't see why sitting here expecting it. But why are we not expecting Tottenham to come out and do it? Why are we not expecting to hear off Daniel Levy? Everyone canes him over social media and all over YouTube more than enough. Why aren't they sitting there calling for clarity off Daniel Levy? Why are they sitting there saying, putting the onus on Kane? You know, like
100%.
we put everything on Kane.
And that's been the biggest.
We're directing our things at the wrong people. Like we're directing our team, our anger and everything else at our best players, our players that have given us most. The only player who stayed on the pitch at the end of last season on the last home game, knowing we had a shit season, the only player to stay on that pitch and walk around and clap. The rest walked off sulking and when they got booed by the fans and had to be begged to come back out.
Called back out again.
Yeah, they had to be begged to come back out. They didn't want to come back out. And my thing is instead of shitting on the players that have given us everything, even through Daniel Levy's shit and everything else, why are these people not calling for Levy to make a statement? Why are they calling for Harry Kane to make a statement? No, he's not going to do it.
That's been the biggest disappointment.
For all this sort of shit. So why aren't they asking for a statement?
That's been the biggest disappointment today, Dave. That's been the biggest disappointment, that people have gone away from the whole ENIC out, Levy out, and based it all on Kane. We need to separate the two. I've got a massive issue with Kane not turning up today. I have got a massive issue with Kane. But if anything, it's intensified my whole ENIC Levy out. It's because of them wankers today has happened. It's because of them. It's this situation has had to occur and all this had to go off. So it's ENIC and Levy's fault that Kane has had to take this action today. As stupid as the action is, and totally disagreement in the action that he did, the reason why there's that line in the sand is because the line in the sand is because of Levy and ENIC not doing as a big football club should do. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is a big fucking club. We need big fucking players. And Kane's just showing a reason. He's a Spurs fan. He's showing that Levy out. He's basically saying Levy out, ENIC out. But I can't go away from the fact that I think what he did today, how he went about it today, mate, was a bit was wrong. But fucking hell, Levy, ENIC out. 100%, even intensifies today, because that's where the anger should be. That's where the anger should be.
Well said.
100%.
Well said.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Bob, anything else you want to talk about, man, before we end it off?
No, let's just hope we get some fucking transfers in this week, mate, because we need them, don't we? We need them. We were hoping to hear something about Romero today. Understandably, all the focus has gone on to Kane. We're getting closer and closer. Let's just see. But we definitely need some. We need to make those numbers up.
Right.
We need to certainly get some centre backs in ASAP. And Romero, hopefully, mate, that's the start of a domino effect of getting some quality signings in.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, I hope so. We definitely need to get more players in the door. We really do. Look, I do think we finished top half of what we have. I'll be honest with you. I do believe that. But I think we need more. I think we need more to challenge. 100%. I do think we need more to challenge. And then,
yes, wow.
We have this from Ellie. Absolutely amazing. Way too kind. I really do appreciate Ellie. You know, absolute channel legend. And thanks for your appearance earlier. And she says statement saving as well as signing Romero is... Levy is the master of saving and is the master of the saving, and far too many players have slipped through the net because of Scroogey Levy's butting in. It's about time he butts out and lets Paratici get this one over the line.
100%.
Ellie, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Look, Ellie, I think this one will be done this week. It's like what I was saying last week on the fan show, and that you know, look, it could well have been a case that Atlanta were waiting to get a replacement in. That seems like that was the case. Then they'll have Mehmet Demiral, so I think they've accepted the bid, and it probably will get done. And plus, Romero's only back from holidays today, so it was never ever going to be done before he came back from holidays anyway. So, yeah, look, sometimes signings just takes a bit of patience. Look, it's very, like, we can go in for them early, but nothing's ever going to get done to the players around to be able to sign things and come back from holiday. And he's not going to cut his holiday short just to make a transfer happen when he can do it when he comes back. So, yeah, look, Ellie, 100% I agree with you, but I do think this one might get done this week. And I really, really, really appreciate the generosity. You know,
Definitely.
absolutely way too kind. Jack, do you want to speak to Ellie?
Yeah, Elliot, I honestly believe, I think even Bob said this before me, but, this is absolutely the statement signing. But, honestly, I would love to have another statement signing on top of this statement signing in terms of the defense, maybe like Bob said, as well, though. I do think that maybe it has been the case that, to be honest with maybe Hitchin, probably in the past, Scrooge was getting in the way. And, Scrooge was actually, telling him, there's only this much you can spend on. There's only these many players you can get. And hopefully Paratici is the one to tell him that, this is not how it's going to be done. In order for us to be successful, I've worked for a successful club in the past. This is how it needs to be done. These are the players you need to get in. And so hopefully Paratici has the type of, let's say that type of energy or even that type of influence inside, the transfer dealings of the club. But honestly, Ellie, so incredibly generous of you. And as well, I really do hope that, there are more statement signings like this to come. And as well, I really do that, Levy, the master of being the Scrooge in terms of, seemingly messing up any signing that's coming through the door. I really do hope that he takes a vacation, during these maybe last few weeks of the transfer window. But yeah, Ellie, really, you're such a legend. Thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you so much for this generosity. And as well, Ellie, thank you so much again for making the fan show. It's a tough one to make, and you absolutely classed it, just like always.
Legend.
Yeah.
Legend.
She is an absolute legend. Sorry, Bob, go on.
I was going to say, do you think Nuno's sitting there looking at his contract, wondering what the fuck he signed himself up for?
2 years, maybe. I think he's actually a bit of Bielsa. I think he's a bit of Bielsa where he actually doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. He's
he's
his own man. I think he just wants to get the season started, doesn't he?
Might not even be a big spender like Jose or anything.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
He doesn't. The wage is plenty. He's probably fine.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Might be right.
I'm sure he is.
I honestly think. I think he would be sitting there looking at the contract. To be honest with you, I think he was stupid to take the job if he wasn't giving guarantees over Kane's future.
Kane, yeah.
I do think he'd be absolutely stupid to take that job. If he, look, it could have well been a case where Levy has told him, yeah, look, we're selling Kane, and he's took the job knowing that. Fair play, you know what I mean? But it could be very well of a case where we're looking at an unhappy manager already, and he hasn't even played hasn't even managed a competitive game for us, which is not a good situation to be in. So look, I presume with this Kane one, look, we just have to wait and see how it pans out. We have to wait and see what comes out over the next few days. Look, it could be innocent, could be something so innocent that maybe he had to isolate after the brother's wedding, whatever. The Spurs could have said to him, have another couple of days off. We don't know. That's important to stress. We don't know. All we can do is comment on what we believe has gone on because we haven't been told anything. Look, it's concerning, but I believe Harry Kane's going to stay. He's Harry Kane, King of the Lane, best number 10 in world football. I do think he's going to fire us to a good season next season. But look, Bob, why don't you let people know where they can find you, lad?
Yeah, on Bob Spur TV at the moment, I'm just doing one show a week, which is in the Wall on the Saturday night at 10 p.m. But if anything cracks off during the week, of course, it looks like there's every chance I may do throughout the week. I will be doing shows, but I'll always give notes for that. But at the moment, it's in the Wall show, Bob Spur TV on YouTube, 10 o'clock Saturday nights, and I'm on Twitter, BobZ73. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to this legend here and you haven't voted for this legend here, make sure you do it. Can I just ask one question to Jack? Because I've not heard him say, Jack, do you think Harry Kane's going to stay? Or maybe I've missed it, or I don't know if you've answered.
No, you probably haven't. In terms of, I guess I've given a lot of other opinions, but yeah, to be honest, I think he's going to be forced to stay this season.
Yeah, agreed.
Will I say, will he be sulking on the sideline or, slash, downing his tools as, you guys say? Hope I'm going to be optimistic and say no, but I think he's going to be staying. I think he's going to be staying.
And that's the thing. We always referred to Kane staying, but not downing his tools or being unprofessional. And I don't think he will. Yeah, I don't think he will. But I think, unfortunately, what today's actions have done is allowed other fans to look at him and say, well, I don't trust him anymore. Because I think one thing will go wrong, which I totally disagree with. I think he'll still give 100% because that's the man he is.
But
and in a way,
they're
by doing
valid.
today, yeah. So we'll wait and see. It's unfortunate circumstances which could have been prevented, I believe. But let's wait and, like I say, Davis, we just don't know, mate, do we? We'll wait and see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Wait and see what comes of it.
Literally, we could all be showing up. It could be a fact that he has a bruised toe or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could all be showing up. You know, or that you know, one of the kids had something to do and he booked the day off. Look, it could very well.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But look, it could be that simple. We just don't know. Look, we live in hope that Harry Kane stays. Jack, you know, why don't you tell people where they can find you and what's coming up, my man?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, everybody, David and I, you know, we're trying to branch out a bit. You know, we're going to come up with, you know, a lot more to come, you know, on David's channel. But as well, you know, considering that Spurs, you know, are not going to be, you know, maybe the top echelons of European football competitions or even, you know, certain fixtures, you know, I'm going to be coming up with my own channel called Flat Cap Euro Talk. And that's going to be an absolute extension of the Harris Army, of the Flat Cap Army here. I'd be honored to have anybody from the Flat Cap Army join me for that. That's going to be basically a channel where it's going to be pretty much almost like, you know, all European news, you might even say, all European content. You know, it's going to have plenty of Spurs to do with it, but it's also just going to have plenty of games like El Clasico, you know, like, you know, the Champions League game of the week, you know, maybe even talking about, you know, whatever goal Haaland scored that week, whatever it might have been. And honestly, I'd be absolutely honored if you guys join me. You know, one of my first videos I'm going to be coming out with is going to be like which managers that I predict will actually be getting the sack, you know, in, you know, the upcoming season. So it's kind of that kind of content that you guys should, you know, keep out for. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. It's pretty much, that's where you'll be looking out for, is pretty much Flat Cap Euro Talk. Keep an eye out for it. You can follow me on Twitter for it. Please look it up on Twitter as well. But yeah, please keep your head on a swivel for it. It's just going to be, you know, plenty of videos like that. The first one I can tell you for certain is going to be, you know, which managers across all of Europe are going to be getting the sack, you know, this next upcoming season in my eyes.
That should be good. Can't wait for that.
No, 100%. I can't wait for it either as well. And look, you'll see me on the channel too. You know what I mean? So anyone that's a fan of me, and you know, you can also get over there and smash the subscribe on that as well. You know, because look, not only is Jack going to be there, I'm going to be there too. It is going to be mainly Jack's baby. But look, what I will say is, I see the ideas. I know the ideas we have for it, and I can tell you it's going to be amazing content. Look, even on this channel, we have a guy here asking, is there going to be a preview for the Chelsea show from Wesley? No, there's not. But what I will say is, you wait for the preview for the likes of this, you know, the City game and stuff like that. It's going to blow your mind, my man. It's going to absolutely blow your socks off, lad. You know, honestly, trust me. Look, I can't wait to get the Flat Cap, you know, a Euro Talk up and running. It's going to be brilliant. You know, we'll be doing watch-alongs for Champions League games now that Tottenham aren't in it. You know, and Jack's 5 picks to watch out for over the weekend. I look forward to that. You know, watch-alongs for some of them random games. You know, and just listening to random players around Europe. You know, look, we're all Tottenham fans, but we're all football fans. So when we do get it out, I would love everyone to put the same support into that channel that they do here. It would be absolutely magnificent. And look, I think it's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait for it. I really can't see what Jack has to offer. Well, look, I know what he has to offer, but you guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be brilliant. Look, Ellie with another super chat here. She says, this one is to get our Jack over to a match in March and walk down Tottenham High Road, down to White Hart Lane, including holding his head high, reeling out the player's stats.
Yeah,
absolutely love it, Ellie. Ellie, I never knew you could paint a picture with a super chat. I didn't think there was enough characters to do it, but you've certainly done it, my love. Appreciate that. Jack, do you want to say something to her?
Absolutely, Ellie. Honestly, you're so incredibly kind to me, and as well, you know, there'd be nothing more than I would love than to be, you know, walking down the lane, holding my Bible out, you know, preaching the stats, you know, to the fans, you know, have my FB ref out, you know, telling me, you know, the stats on Dyer, Moon Boots, you know, Sanchez, how many blades of grass does Sanchez consume a match, you know, those kind of stats. But yeah, Ellie, honestly, thank you so much for contributing, you know, to the cause as well. You know, for the next shows, anyone, please. I think we made way too much progress than we already should have, thanks to honestly absolute legends like Ellie. But I really, the plan is that I will be in March at the Lane for, I believe it's March 19th, for the game against West Ham. that is the game that I am planning to be in London for, the game that I'm planning to be in England and for, at the Lane for the first time in my life for. And so absolutely, thanks to donations like this, thanks to contributions like this, I will actually be able to get there. And so honestly, Ellie, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're way too kind. But yeah, that's what this is all for. That's what this is all for, is to get me to the Lane for the first time in my life. It will be sensational thanks to people like Ellie. Absolutely. Thank you, Ellie.
No, and look, don't worry. Look, I've already agreed. Whatever we fall short, I'll make up to get Jack over. I can't wait for it. I can't wait to meet up with Jack in person. Mad as it is, me and Jack actually haven't seen each other in person. And we've done everything hooked up just over this. And look, it's been an insane ride. And Ellie, you're an absolute legend. And look, it'll be me, Ellie, and Jack watching the West Ham game. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Really do appreciate, Ellie. You're too good to us. I don't really want to take it down, but I have to because we're getting so many comments in here. GCM, James says, great channel, really interesting channel and chats. Really do appreciate that. Who else have we got here? John Fitzpatrick, Jack is a true gent and a top guy.
That means a lot coming from you, John. That means a lot coming from you, John. I do appreciate that, John.
Big up, John, the guy representing the Irish out in Australia. I love him.
I was just going to say, that means a lot coming from him.
Yeah, exactly. Dave says, Ellie, what a legend, Jack. I'm just trying to find all the comments about you, man. There's so many of them.
No. Believe me, everybody, thank you so much. And I will let you know, everybody, via Twitter, via whatever it is, the link to the channel once it's actually put up. Once we actually put up the link to the channel, the video for that, who do I predict will get the sack should actually already be up there. So there actually should be something for you guys to watch once we put up the links. That is actually, unfortunately, why we don't have the link up for you guys. We do want something to be there for you guys to watch when we put up that link, though.
Yeah.
But everybody, I really appreciate the support for, maybe my dream of creating a channel as well. And I do appreciate everybody for as well, just, all the support. I really do appreciate it. And then, yeah, Ellie, again, she's saying here, like Ellie, she said, truly deserves degree. Wow, she's talking about me. I thought she was talking about David.
She's talking about me, lad. Of course she's talking about me. She says, she's thankfully graced by my presence. By my presence. No, look, 100%. Ellie, you're too good to us. You're too good to us. Look, I can't be waiting to be graced by Jack's presence as well, Ellie. Feels like we'll have a God amongst our midst. I really, really do appreciate the support, Ellie. Ellie, you are way, way, way too kind to us. And of course, everybody, again, make sure you do look out for Ellie's Spurs story coming out this Friday.
Be legendary.
And find out about the person behind the face, the woman behind the face. Absolutely great story. And Ellie, again, I really appreciate the contribution. It's way too kind. Way too kind. I really do appreciate it. DMT 1985. Look, if you want to drop somewhere where Jack, can you message him on Insta? Hit him up.
DMT, way too kind. DMT, way too kind. Way too kind. Way too kind.
We'll write that down. Jack, you want to write that down if you want to send him a message or that?
Yeah, sure, David. As well, yeah. DMT, way too kind. Way too kind. Everybody's way too kind. But yeah, honestly, it's been an incredible fan show. Ellie, to Brad, to Philip, to Chris. I know I'm going to be missing plenty of people here, but Marcelo as well. Everybody was just absolutely sensational.
Don't forget Bob. You didn't mention Bob.
That's right,
we're talking to right now. Maybe that's the one I'm missing there. But sorry, I'm actually looking for. I'm just trying to find DMT here, so I got a bit distracted. I apologize.
And,
sorry, David. Sorry. Yeah, you put up Ellie's. Yeah, I'll just look for DMTs here. Thank you, Ellie. Again, thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Ellie. Again, everybody. If I'm able to. It's just all the support people have shown me in order to get to the Lane, all the people that have shown me in order to get to London to see a game. It's just been absurd. I couldn't even imagine that this would be the case. To be honest, I would think that, it would have been a lot longer until I'd be actually able to go to the Lane myself. So everybody, you're actually making a boy dream.
Look, March, it's going to happen, Jack, 100%. Yeah. And Ellie, again, this one is for David to get a few tubs of Ben and Jerry. Well, look, Ellie, what I will say is I hope they're on special offer so I can get more bang for my buck. But look, you know what? I really do appreciate you. I'll definitely take a trip down tomorrow and get a Ben and Jerry's or two. You know, really, really do appreciate it, Ellie. You're way too kind to us. Way too kind to us. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I will get Ben and Jerry's, and I hope you're tucking into one right now. I really do. You know, I really do. I hope it's one of your favorite flavors with your chocolate and your wine, and you know, you're chilling out, really, really enjoying your night. Why not go all hog?
Yeah, Ellie, honestly, as well, I will say, like, hopefully, maybe, you know, I might save a bit of that, you know, until maybe the Ben and Jerry's deals start coming through. I posted that on David's timeline once, you know, whereas I think it was a 3 for $10 or something on Ben and Jerry's. It was unbelievable. You know, I was rubbing my eyes thinking, you know, it couldn't be true, especially in New York. You would think, you know, it couldn't be true. You know, I'm just waiting for that day to come. And so right now, at the moment, I am saving a bit of money on the Haagen-Dazs, unfortunately, and I would like to upgrade to the Ben and Jerry's very soon.
No, look, 100%. Look, Haagen-Dazs is piss compared to Ben and Jerry's. Best ice cream out there. I didn't mind Haagen-Dazs growing up, but when I was older and I was able to afford Ben and Jerry's, that's now my jam. It's the one thing I'll always make sure I have every week, 100%. But look, guys, I want to say, look, to you, the Harris Army, you've been absolutely amazing today. You know, we've had some crazy views at times, been up at 400, carried 350 at minimum most stream. It's been absolutely insane. Guys, what we have coming up is, I don't actually know, to be honest, until I sit down tomorrow morning early and sort it out. I was supposed to do it today, but I've been working on a lot of things behind the scenes on the channel, you know, getting everything in place for the new season and, you know, playing around with things for the new content and stuff like that. So, and as well, actually, getting this set up together. You know, we're not on the phone anymore. I think I brought the phone as far as I could. I just bring the phone to 3.5K subs, which was absolutely amazing.
Brought
you
the
know,
chair as
I
far
never
as
thought anything could be done like that off a mobile phone.
Mic. Yeah, nice mic there, Dave. Nice mic there, mate.
Oh, lad, I've got the full stand. You know, I can move it whatever way I want. Actually, I'm sounding a bit like Will Stewart here, but honestly, you know, I can move it whatever way I want. I got the full stand. No, it was actually a mic my sister got me for Christmas. That I've only able to start using now because I've been able to get the computer, you know, and come off the phone. I've got the desk for the setup now rather than sitting on a wooden chair at a table, you know, giving myself piles. I got the chair on an absolute steal on a deal, lad. It was the last one left. It was kind of like an opportunist buy. And so we've upgraded the systems like I promised. And like I promised, the content for the new season is going to be absolutely epic. Guys, this has been an insane stream. There's an insane amount of likes on it. We've also gained nearly 30, 40 subs just off this stream alone. It's incredible. Guys, you know, make sure you check out Bob Spur TV and you check out Will Stewart THFC rants. He was generous today. And make sure you check out the Yid Kid too, guys, who was on. But look, I want to say a massive thank you to you, the Harris Army, for tuning in. I want to say a massive thank you to all the super chatters who really do help support me and Jack. You know, support us all the way. The content, you know, helping us grow, sharing the videos, stuff like that. It's absolutely insane. I want to say a massive thank you to Jack, to everyone else that's come on the fan show this evening. A massive thank you to all you too. And look, I hope to see you back here. Look, we'll definitely put out something tomorrow. I'm just not 100% sure yet, but see you back here tomorrow at 9:30, guys. We'll have something out for you, you know, because there's been way too many people that have been missing us over the weekend. I apologize about the absence. It was my sister's birthday. You know, I had football Friday, sister's birthday Saturday, and yesterday was just a recovery day. Probably could have took the day off as recovery too. I'm still feeling a bit of the effects. You know, the older you get, the longer the hangovers get. But look, we're back. We're rolling into the new season. We're moving. We're going to take this to the very top. See how far we can push this, the computer, you know, before it blows up. Maybe we can get it to 10K, 100K, who knows. But guys, none of this, I want to make sure this is clear. None of this is possible without the support you, the Harris Army, show me. It's incredible. Not just me, Jack. All the guys that come on my channel with channels, the likes of Bob, Will, Matt, We Are Tottenham, well, not We Are Tottenham TV. You know, all the others like that they even gain subs from coming on here. It's absolutely madness. You know, so the Harris Army, look, this is nothing without you, and I hope we can keep doing this and keep riding and dying until we get to 100K, because I firmly believe it's possible. You know, especially with some of the new stuff we have coming up at the start of the season. It should definitely see us on our way anyway. But look, guys, it's been amazing. It's over and out here from me, from Jack, from Bob. Look, as always, come on, you Spurs. and in Nuno we trust.
Nuno
And
we
now
trust.
because I knew it's going to take me time to get the outro. No, it's not. So, guys, see you. Good night. Oh, sorry, Bob, you had your finger up. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say piss off, Levy, and thank you for having me on. I had a gentleman's agreement today, so I had to pop on.
Oh, and I forgot this is Camus. Piss off, Bob.
Yeah, piss off.